We know that for both teams, it's a big game.
And you've named the same side that faced Crystal Palace in regard to the starting lineup. What are your reasons for that?
Obviously, we won. We had a good reaction and we kept a clean sheet. So we've had time to work this week with everyone, and we just felt like this was the best team to try and win the game today.
Ryan Mason, so exciting, isn't it? There's so much to play for. Let's turn our attention to European qualification. Martin, how impressed have you been with the job that Emery's done at Villa?
Immensely. I know they've lost the last 2 games. We were looking at Mourinho this morning, the left back, come in from on Football Focus, and I think that's the first of many Spanish players that we're going to see coming in. There's a new director of football coming from Barcelona, and Emery is here to work. He's here to make change. He's done incredibly well. Since he arrived at the football club, they were, 4th from bottom, and he's just taken them all the way up to a possible European place.
Yeah.
So, but it's a building process, and losing those last 2 games would have hurt him. Of course, they were away from home. No great disgrace against Wolves, who have been quite remarkable, not won 9 matches at home this season. So, no, he'll want to win today and get back on that winning trail.
And also, what an exciting time for Villa fans if they make Europe next season, given the fact that Unai Emery has won the Europa League 4 times.
Well, absolutely. They got a manager with unbelievable pedigree, and we've seen the transformation he has impacted this Villa side across the season. I mean, if they win today, the potential top 10 finish guaranteed is already put them in good stead to know how much more they can push on going into next season as well.
I know what I'm letting myself in for now when I ask Martin Keown. Spurs, so disappointing this season.
They have been very disappointing, and it's interesting because I hope they take heed of the last manager when he went out the door, when he was perceived to be almost a troublemaker, because dare he question the people already at the club. He said there was no spirit, there was no togetherness, there wasn't a sense of belonging. He asked major questions, and he also said that Daniel Levy, this is 20 years where he's not won anything. So you look down and where does the change need to take place? Yes, he said you can keep changing the managers, but are we really the problem? So I think there could be some major change coming forward at Spurs. It'll be very interesting to see what the hierarchy do at that football club.
Yeah, OK, more Spurs chat later, and also Palace Bournemouth. We want you to get involved this afternoon. Love to hear from you. Use the hashtag BBC Final Score to join the conversation, and the live text on the BBC Sport website and BBC Sport app. We'd love to hear from you. Right, teams are on the way out. First to a huge day in the Premier League at St Mary's. Southampton, can they keep their top flight status, at least for now, against Fulham? Chris Wise.
Well, they have to win to do that, and even then it might not be enough. But either way, there is this strong feeling that Saints' 11 consecutive years in the Premier League are coming to an end. That sense of acceptance inside this stadium is very apparent. Fulham, they've got Alexander Mitrovic available again, but he's only on the bench.
A 5-point buffer between them and the relegation zone, with 2 games to go is the prize for Forest. If they can find just a second away win of the season, a trip to the bridge would usually be a write-off for a struggling team, but Steve Cooper's men should have far more motivation than the hosts, and the Blues have also been on a very poor run at home.
A big day for Manchester United in the race for Champions League football. Beat Wolves, who are already mathematically safe at the other end of the table here today, and they'll go 4 points clear of 5th place Liverpool. But if they are to get all 3 points, they'll have to do it without their 29-goal striker. Marcus Rashford is injured and misses out.
Aston Villa have been flying since Unai Emery took over, but now he needs to end a poor run of 2 defeats in a row in the race for Europe. A victory would take them level on points with Tottenham, who haven't won away from home in 8 games. Feels like a perfect chance for interim boss Ryan Mason to prove he can do the job full-time. European football is up for grabs.
Like Conchita Wurst sang in 2014, will Bournemouth rise like a phoenix to Premier League safety today? With Palace safe, a draw wouldn't be the worst result for either side. So, on this Eurovision Saturday, don't expect any boom banger bang here.
It's going to go all afternoon, isn't it? Right then, to the Scottish Premiership, and in the race for Europe, St Mirren have not given up on the hope of chasing down Hearts. Colin McLaughlin.
No, they certainly have not. Saints have the opportunity to move to just within 1 point of 4th place Hearts, who sit 5 points behind 3rd place Aberdeen, if you're still following me. The visitors head into this one looking to move just that little bit closer to European qualification, with 4 games left to play, and Aberdeen up next for them. Hearts still missing 8 key players. Andy Halliday comes in, Lawrence Shanklin leading the line for them, and Saints go with Alex Grieve and Curtis Main.
Thank you, Connie. It's the time of the season when fans of 12 EFL clubs go through the pain, the glory and the heartache of the playoffs. Last night, Peterborough United and Sheffield Wednesday got the League One playoff final first legs underway. Today, it's the turn of Bolton Wanderers and Barnsley. Tom Gale.
Where we're expecting an attendance of over 24,000, Jason, in the glorious sunshine. Barnsley, 2 promotions from their previous 2 League One playoff campaigns, but there'll be caution in that away end because Bolton are definitely a bogey side. It's 26 years since Barnsley last beat them in a game which wasn't a cup competition. Bolton collected 4 points across the 2 league games this season. We've just kicked off. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, so the EFL League season concluded last week. So let's take a look who has made it into the playoffs and bring you totally right up to date. There you go. Sunderland play Luton Town this evening in the first leg. That's a 5:30 kick-off. Coventry City play Middlesbrough on Sunday. Luton Town, Sunderland again on Tuesday. And Middlesbrough, Coventry City on Wednesday. And in League One, Peterborough United took a commanding lead in their tie with Wednesday last night, winning 4-0. Worth remembering that Wednesday were top of the division and looking nailed on for promotion just over a month ago. The other semi-final sees Lancashire take on Yorkshire with Bolton Wanderers drawn against Barnsley. And the first leg is underway. And in League Two, Salford City face local rival Stockport County. Bradford City are up against Carlisle United, and confirmation that all of the finals will be played at Wembley across the spring bank holiday at the end of the month. Good luck to all those sides. Huge prize at stake at Wembley today. National League playoff final between Chesterfield and Notts County. Notts County had the biggest ever points total in the National League to not get automatically promoted. It's been an amazing race, hasn't it, with Wrexham. This one kicks off at 3:30. Chris Coles.
Afternoon, Jason. Yes, what a mouth-watering playoff final this is. Dripping with storylines. Huge encounter for both. Chesterfield looking to end a 4-year absence from the Football League. They're unchanged from their 3-2 semi-final win over Bromley. In fact, both semis were fairly dramatic, weren't they? Notts County needed a late extra-time winner to beat Boreham Wood, having been 2-0 down at half-time. They're also unchanged, with 42-goal striker Macaulay Langstaff leading the line, underway in half an hour.
Thank you, Chris. Enjoy. Jordan White has put Ross County Woodall up against Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership. And let's stay with the Scottish Premiership. The Old Firm derby at lunchtime finished Rangers 3, Celtic 0. Roddy Forsyth.
This wasn't salvation for Rangers, but it is a salve delivered by goals from Todd Cantwell, John Souttar and Fashion Sakala in a game which saw Celtic enjoy twice as much possession as the home side, but their best effort was a shot by O which hit the post. The champions remain favourites for the domestic treble, but they can't now set a Premiership points record which was possible before kick-off today, and that counts in the bragging rights. For Michael Beale, there's the satisfaction of outthinking Ange Postecoglou for the first time in a derby game, and for Souttar, who made a horrible error in the 3-2 league defeat at Celtic Park, there was redemption when his header at a corner kick brought his first goal for Rangers since he moved from Hearts.
Thank you, Roddy. We are underway in the Premier League. Let's go to St Mary's. Chris Wise.
Yeah, 4 minutes in, 0-0. Lots of Fulham possession so far. Southampton really have not been out of their half in the last couple of minutes at least. I'm just looking around the stadium, Jace. Bear in mind, there is still something on this game for Southampton. There are so many empty red seats, and that tells you everything you need to know about the acceptance of the situation from the Saints supporters.
And straight to Stamford Bridge, Mark Scott.
Corner for Nottingham Forest here, which is going to be delivered from the right-hand side as they look at it by Renan Lodi. No other action to tell you about so far. The corner whipped into the near post and the header is wide from Felipe. That was a decent opportunity for Forest early on. Just one thing to mention, Martin Keown said that Brennan Johnson must be injured to be on the bench. Steve Cooper told us beforehand it's actually with a design to putting out the best team to improve the away record. So perhaps just a more conservative approach. 0-0.
Yeah, maybe. To Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers with Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
Yes, 5 minutes in, still Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. No real chances as of yet in the glorious sunshine. But Dion, as we'd expect, Manchester United dominating the early stages.
Yeah, a lot of the ball down the right-hand side. Anthony's looking dangerous. He's got Wan-Bissaka going round the side of him all the time. So I think at the moment, the right-hand side is looking strong for United. Anything that comes of this game early doors will be down that side. Wolves at the moment, Campton.
They're camped in, but you said it pre-match, they'll need to take their chances if they get them. So far, defensively, I know it's only 5 minutes, they look solid.
Yeah, they look solid, they look secure. It's okay, they've got, you know, 2 banks of 4. Costa's staying up the pitch when he can, but I just think it's one of those where United have got to stay concentrated because, you know, Pedro Neto with his pace is very, very dangerous.
Dion's got something about Pedro Neto, so watch this space, still 0-0.
Kelly, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Dion. I'm liking that double act. You liking that?
Yeah, I know.
Very good, isn't it?
Dion makes a good point about Neto as well, because he's got a really good pace. So, you know, it's one of those you cannot switch off, and have Manchester United got the pace to deal with things at the moment? You know, 1 or 2 injuries in that area. So I think they'll just try and keep it tight, Wolves, for as long as they can. But in the end, maybe Manchester United will break them down.
Yep, maybe. Corner at Villa Park. John Bennett.
Yes, 0-0, but a lively start. Couple of corners already for Aston Villa, who are playing with a lot of confidence. 5 home wins in a row. They're in great form at Villa Park. Interesting tactically, though, from Tottenham. It's 3 at the back when they're in possession. It's 4 at the back when they're out of possession. It worked last week against Crystal Palace. Will it work today against Aston Villa? Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 0.
And let's find out what's happening at Selhurst Park. Mark Webber.
Not much, 0-0. It's find your number 9 and hope for an opportunity. A long ball into Jordan Ayew for Palace on the right-hand side was snuffed out a few seconds before that. 2 balls into Dominic Solanke, trying to find Solanke, and no chance at all. Michael Elise just taking a bit of a knock. He's back up now, 0-0.
Yeah, our feature game in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon is at the Smythe Stadium. Connie McLaughlin.
4 minutes on the clock, Jason. I'm just having a look at Stephen Robinson, who's going absolutely mental at his back 5. Just showing the passion, the enthusiasm that he's still got. In a week, actually, that he was announced in the shortlist for the PFA Scotland's Manager of the Year. So he's got something to prove that, you know, they belong in this top 6. They are trying to get forward at the moment, but it's Hearts in possession. It's goalless here in Paisley.
Barnsley have made a good start in the playoff semi-final. Tom Gale.
Yeah, it's still 0-0, Jason, but ironic cheers there as Devante Cole was in behind the Bolton back line, but he was unable to keep it in play. It's been a positive start from the visitors, who won just 1 of the last 5 coming into this, so momentum not with them, but holding their own. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
It looks like it's a goal for Aston Villa. What a fantastic strike. Villa have taken the lead against Spurs. Let's go there, John Bennett.
And it's Jacob Ramsey with the finish. A really good side-footed finish on just 7 minutes. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Really good work by Leon Bailey, who came into the team today for Bertrand Traore. He picked it up in the penalty area, spotted Jacob Ramsey, who'd just been fouled actually just a couple of moments before that. It was a vantage play by the referee. Ramsey popping up in the penalty area. What a start for Aston Villa, looking to make it 6 wins in a row at home. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
They've made such a good start, Aston Villa, to this game. Anita, what a finish from Ramsey.
Unreal finish. I think it's been building up, to be fair. Aston Villa have been probing in this Tottenham box, working the ball down the sides of them in the channels. And it's a lovely switch of play here from the midfield out wide to the right-hand side, the edge of the 18-yard box, where he is able to just pull that cut back into Jacob Ramsey's path, and that controlled, lovely place finish, low and hard into the bottom corner. Nothing.
And he just gets there in front of. I'm trying to work out who it is, Martin. He just almost kind of gets his body shape right, doesn't he? And whoever it is trying to close him down, doesn't get there quickly enough.
Well, the thing is, Ramsey just goes from strength to strength, come out of the academy at Villa Park, so it's a nice warm glow for the club that they're going to, you know, we talked earlier about Spanish signings, but this young fella needs to be able to develop, and he's doing that with great effect. Great finish from him, arriving in the box at the right time, and he's put Spurs really on the back foot here.
It has, yeah. Also in the quest for European places as well, because both sides are on 57 points, Anita.
Well, yeah, this is why this is the game they needed to get a result out of. But Villa have started the strong of the two sides, more intensity, really attacking down those channels, and you've got their just desserts with that wonderful goal.
Yeah, Spurs on the attack. A good game. What about at St Mary's, Chris Wise?
Well, we've seen plenty of Fulham possession so far. I'm just watching Southampton now because for the first time, really, they're threatening attack, and Onuachu's giving the ball away. There's a few groans inside this stadium as well. Just a reminder of the situation for Saints. They have to win today if they are to stand any chance of taking it to next weekend. And even a victory might not be enough, because if Nottingham Forest avoid defeat today against Chelsea and Everton beat Manchester City tomorrow, which I know is unlikely, but it's possible, then even a win for Southampton would send them down anyway. So they are at the very brink and it's 0-0.
Chelsea on the attack against Forest at Stamford Bridge. Mark Scott.
Yeah, but still no shot for Keylor Navas to have to deal with as of yet. Forest have probably made the more composed start to the game, and as mentioned, Steve Cooper says that his team is set up today to try and improve that away record, perhaps a bit more packed in midfield, a bit more conservative, and so far no massive chances for Chelsea.
Back to Manchester United Wolves. Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
Manchester United 0, Wolves 0, but Manchester United have had their first sight of goal, and it came from Anthony. Lovely strike from the edge of the area, just inches wide of Bentley, of course, making his first Premier League start in place of Jose Sarr today. Just went wide of the upright, and as you join me, they're on the attack again, but Wolves defending well. Dion, that chance for Anthony was a glorious chance.
Yeah, there's a bigger chance than you've made out, Kels. I think he should have been a lot better. He really, it was a decent pass from Dawson, from the right back area to his centre-half partner, Max Kilman. Max Kilman slips over Anthony's one-on-one with the keeper, tries to steer it in that corner like he always does, but he overcooks it. It's about a yard wide, should have done better. It's a good chance, it's gone begging.
And it also came just after Wolves had the first corner of the game, and they had their own chance from that Dawson firing wide at the near post. So it goes back to what both Dion and Martin were saying before. Wolves do have a threat on the counter-attack. Still 0-0.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dion. Just keeping our eye on what's happening at Villa Spurs. Villa absolutely all over Spurs at the moment. But I do want to talk about the lunchtime game, because you two have just managed to see that incident at Ellen Road today where a fan got into the technical area and pushed Eddie Howe. I mean, what is happening to the game we love, Anita, when this sort of thing is allowed to happen?
Well, it's disgraceful. I was wondering how he managed to actually get down there past any of the stewards and get contact on Eddie Howe there. It's not the sort of thing we want to see in the game. Obviously, you know, he shouldn't be able to get contact on the manager and say or whatever he was trying to get across. And it's disappointing to see, because, you know, Newcastle are having a fantastic season, in my opinion.
Something that we see growing a little bit, isn't it? Coming back into the game. We saw it years ago, people coming on the pitch. We don't want to see it happening. But the security worked really quickly, I must say, but I can't understand how I was allowed to get to...
They were very quick, but as Anita says, how on earth is that fan allowed to get on to... Because he runs and he comes away from the Leeds United dugout and goes past the technical area into the Newcastle United
area. He does,
area.
and he comes across quite calmly, and it looks like it's just a frank discussion. But then there's a push and there's a shove, and obviously something's been said, but they just swarmed him. Let's hope that doesn't really happen again. Another big home game to come at Ellen Road end of the season, which will be massive now, so they're going to have to work very hard to keep their fans.
We understand how tense it is when there is so much at stake, Martin, but you cannot step over that line. Just in terms of the game, though, I mean, what a fantastic game of football. And we saw something with Leeds United. We saw a lot of fight there, didn't we, today?
We did. I was worried going into the game, the manager talking about fear and why should you really discuss that, because, you know, I always felt you need to be free in your mind to play your best football. And you can see there they gave a really good account of themselves. Shots on target. I mean, I know they're the home side, but Newcastle went to Everton recently and won the game comfortably. So they're well equipped to win games in all types of ways. So fair play to Sam there for putting together a decent performance. But I do not feel it's going to be enough to keep them up, Jason.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe what's happened at Stamford Bridge. Mark Scott, what
Massive
a
goal for Nottingham Forest. Taiwo Awoniyi on the end of a deep ball in. Edouard Mendy, playing his first game since the World Cup, came for it, didn't get there first. Awoniyi did. And to my left-hand side, those in red have absolutely erupted. Forest could be going 5 clear of the relegation zone with 2 games to play.
This is absolutely amazing, and it's huge for Nottingham Forest. It's also huge for the club that we were talking about in Leeds United. But I have to ask this question, Anita, what on earth is Mendy doing? What is he doing?
I mean, it's shocking. You know, he's coming for the ball. He's inside.
If you're coming for that, you got to win it, right?
As a defender, I'd be absolutely fuming. You know, the goalkeeper's coming for the ball. He's got to take the ball, and if not, his teammate out and try and punch that away from the box there. You know, Awoniyi is really powerful. He has risen highest and met the ball, but I really think Mendy should do better in that.
And do you know, I think this is one brought on by the manager, because Kepa was a player when Frank Lampard was first there that was told he wasn't good enough, was sat on the sidelines. Mendy was bought, and I wondered that was going to be an interesting discussion when Lampard came back, but he stuck with him. Today he didn't, and he's now regretting that, because Mendy completely outsourced Jason. He's coming out for that ball. He's got no way that he can get anywhere near that, and now they're a goal behind. It's a gift.
But what about Forest? I mean, they've made a good start as well in this game, haven't they?
Well, they're exploiting the opposition. And it's just
you can hear the fans as well.
5-point cushion as we sit here right now. I think the Forest fans would just love it if it was to finish that way.
Goodness me, absolutely amazing. OK, let's go back around the grounds then. Let's start at Villa Park. John Bennett.
Where it is all Aston Villa. They lead by 1-0. That Jacob Ramsey goal, side-footed finish after some good work by Leon Bailey. They're offering nothing going forward at the moment. Tottenham, Ryan Mason, the interim boss, looking a worried man on the edge of his technical area. There's a good little tussle between Emi Buendia and Son Heung-min. A couple of fouls each so far. Unlikely tussle. Tottenham need to get into this game. It's 1-0 to Aston Villa.
And what's happening at Selhurst Park, Mark Webber?
It's 0-0. Crystal Palace with yet another bit of possession and a shot that just go wide there from Michael Elise. Very good shot on the edge of the area, just left. They've been gathering possession and momentum, Palace, but they haven't been able to find that final ball. Close there, though, 0-0.
Yeah, and is that a chance for Fulham at St Mary's, Chris Wise?
Yeah, they've had a couple of opportunities. You probably put them in the half opportunity bracket. Tosin slipped as he let fly from 35 yards. That went a long way over the top. We had a Willian clipped corner as well to the edge of the box. Kearney was there. He met it beautifully, actually. Really powerful shot that was repelled. They're stroking the ball around Fulham with real confidence and ease. Southampton are not in this game at the moment.
Let's go to Old Trafford, where we've got our dynamic duo, Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin. And I'm just wondering, Kelly, who's getting the teas in at half-time?
Well, do you know what? Gary from 5 Live kindly went and got me a pie pre-match because I was so busy having to run between the press box to do team news, down to meet Dion, back to do teams out. It's been a hard life for me. For Dion, it's been a bit tougher, so I'm hoping he's getting the tea in. But as for the game on the pitch, Dion, it's still very much the same, isn't it? Manchester United dominating, but still that Anthony chance the best they've had.
We're sat on the halfway line, not too far from the teams, and it's all looking right. It's all in Wolves' half. I mean, Casemiro, Bruno and Eriksen are now taking charge of that midfield area. They're passing it in triangles. Bruno's sitting in the 10 position at the moment and he's running the show. Wolves on the odd occasion get out of their half, they break, nothing comes of it. But at the moment, possession-wise, United are very, very comfortable.
It's just 1 goal in 315 minutes of football before today for Manchester United. When you're without your 29-goal striker and you look at this team today, does this look like a team that is short of goals? Are they overplaying it a bit? Are they taking enough shots for you?
Well, they haven't got anybody in the box that's a natural finisher. Martial's not a natural finisher. He hasn't had a great season this season. I'm pretty sure he'll hold his hand up to that. So when they look in the box, they think, shall I or shan't I? And they're not quite sure what they're doing at the moment. You're probably right, Kels. They're probably overplaying, trying to find the perfect goal. It doesn't happen like that. The half chance that Anthony had was not a half chance. It was a very good chance, and he should have done better, Kelly.
Yeah, Eric Ten Hag said to me pre-match, other players need to step up in Marcus Rashford's absence. They haven't done that so far, 0-0.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dion. We are also at the Scottish Premiership game this evening between St Mirren and Hearts. Connie McLaughlin.
We are, Jason. It's goalless at the moment. Hearts very much dictating play, trying to play their own style this afternoon. Barry Mackay trying to get the ball to the feet of Lawrence Shankland. He's not managed to do that on too many occasions. They've not been, too industrious in front of goals so far. But this game is huge for both sides. As actually St Mirren come forward for the first time, I think, actually in this match so far. But nothing comes of it. Hearts sweep that up quite nicely. But yeah, from a Hearts perspective, they've very much got their eye on this third place, obviously guaranteeing themselves European group stage football. They really need to win today, you'd have to say, and a huge match coming up next weekend against Aberdeen. So Stephen Naismith, if he wants, I don't know, the job on a permanent basis, then you would think that is the job to be done. But as it stands at the moment, with 15 minutes on the clock, it's goalless.
It's very tense in the League One playoff semi-final, and Barnsley have a free kick. Tom Gale.
Yeah, it's about far right, 35 yards out. Barnsley's Herbie Kane is stood over the ball, Jason. Neither keeper has had a save yet to make, but the first big chance did come at the opposite end for the home side, and their main man, Dion Charles, 20 goals already this campaign. He's picked out by Elias Kachunga on the penalty spot. A complete slice, ends up closer to the corner flag than the goal. As for this free kick, it's laid off short and it's straight down the goalkeeper's throat. Parazit Palm back out, still a scramble. Oh, it's cleared. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Good chance that for Barnsley. They've made such a good start at the University of Bolton Stadium. So in the lunchtime kickoff, it finished 2-2. Let's hear from Sam Allardyce.
2 to go, but you've got a lot of positives, as you say, the spirit and the character you've shown today. You're going to need those in abundance in these last 2 games.
Well, now we're going to have to look and wait to see what we got 3 points today. Whatever happens to that, we got 3 points. We've got, and that would be absolutely magnificent. Now we've got to really keep our fingers crossed with all the others. that they don't pick any points up now, which gives us a little bit more of a fighting chance, you know. So, you know, if some of them go and win and we only draw, then that makes life extremely difficult for us. But, you know, who knows? We have to wait and see at the end of the weekend and see what we're doing. But we'll fight right to the end.
Just finally, you wanted a bear pit atmosphere today. They were fantastic, the fans today, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but we give them something to shout about, which has been probably lacking a bit in the second half of the season. And like I said, you know, players are getting the idea that well, you know, if they want to be a Premier League player, they're going to have to keep improving from here on in to try and get 2 wins in the next 2 games and maintain their Premier League status. And with the help of the fans and the support they've given the lads today, and even though it's a disappointing result based on more of our own faults instead of the opposition's ability, you know, we go marching on and fighting on to the end.
Marching on. I see what he did there. We'll bring you Eddie Howe as soon as we get it. Let's go back around the grounds. Let's start at St Mary's. Chris Wise.
Well, they like to march on here at the moment. They're only marching towards the Championship, Southampton. They have to win today. Oh, hang on a second. Onuachu's got the ball. He's shot for goal. Well, that's the first try of the game for Saints. It wasn't really a problem in the end for Bernd Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper. Onuachu taking it on from the edge of the penalty area pretty early. Leno reacting to it. Comfortable claim. I was just keeping an eye, Jace, on Marco Silva a moment ago. He's actually quite agitated inside the technical area, and it's not because Fulham aren't controlling the game, because they are. I think it's just because he feels that they're not exploiting their dominance. Here they come, though. Willian's inside the box, lifted it in, flicked towards goal. Carlos Vinicius, massive chance for him. His shot has gone straight at Lianco, and really he should have tested McCarthy from short range. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, he really should have. And here come Chelsea. Mark Scott.
João Felix leading the charge for Chelsea, who are showing a good response to falling behind. Madueke on the edge of the area, trying to find a space. Kovacic in towards Gallagher, and it breaks down. A real scare for Nottingham Forest not that long ago. Raheem Sterling got the wrong side of Worrell, chasing a long ball over the top. Credit, though, to the Forest skipper, who recovered magnificently, and Martin Keown-esque slid in to block Sterling as he fired goalward. Still 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, and that would have been a tough sliding tackle, trust me. No half-hearted tackle coming from Keown, that's for sure. Sir Alex has been spotted by the BBC cameras at Old Trafford. Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
That means that Dion Dublin will be making a beeline for him very shortly, just like he did for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pre-match. Nothing really to tell you about on the pitch still, Jason, but some breaking news from the press box. Dion Dublin has opened the pick and mix. That's why I invited him. Dion, firstly, your suite of choice?
Pencils today, pink ones in general with a green centre. So if you stay away from those, Kels, I'll be happy.
Wonderful. As for on the pitch, Wolves do have a free kick midway inside the Manchester United half. Victor Lindelof with the foul there, and this is where Manchester United have to be vigilant, isn't it?
Yeah, they just have to make sure that, you know, things are organised, concentration levels are good, because, you know, Neves has got himself on the ball a little bit now. Lemina's just breaking the lines, getting in that 10 roll as well. So just make sure that you stay in the game in regards when you've got possession, make use of it, because at the moment Wolves are being patient and they are finding themselves in good positions like now.
Yeah, as they play the ball into the box, it is blocked there by Bruno Fernandes. He feels like he's been everywhere today. I've been taking a look at the possession stats as the game's been going on as well. Manchester United at one point had over 70%. That's gone down to nearer 50%, which perhaps reflects the way this game is going. Wolves still very much in this, 0-0.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dion. Back we go to Stamford Bridge, where Forest are playing ever so well, Mark Scott.
And they were almost gifted a goal for the second time this afternoon. Trevor Chalobah caught in possession just outside his own area. Renan Lodi fed Danilo. His fizzed effort deflected behind for a corner. That was almost another big mix-up at the back for Chelsea. And Forest have another corner. They're taking their time over it, and they are going very well so far.
Oh, is this a chance for Spurs at Villa Park, John Bennett?
It's Son Heung-min. He's hit the post. He ran at the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Harry Kane following up, and it's cleared away. What a chance that was for Tottenham. The flag has gone up now. The flag has gone up. I wondered whether Son Heung-min was offside there as he ran through. It seemed as though the Villa players were just waiting for the flag to go up. And I think it has gone up for that incident, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. Son Heung-min running through, hitting the post. Tottenham are getting back into this game. It hadn't been convincing before that, but just a sign now that they are getting closer to putting this Villa defence under a bit of pressure. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Jamie McGrath's got his 8th goal of the season for Dundee United. They are level from the spot against Ross County on 24 minutes. Back we go to Selhurst Park. Mark Webber.
Only 2 sources of entertainment for me here, 0-0 so far. 1, a pack of munchies. 2, Joel Ward, who's just done a couple of olays around 2 AFC Bournemouth players and got the ball away. That's how interesting it is.
You sound so miserable today, Mark. Maybe you need some sweets from Dion Dublin and Kelly Summers to perk you up a bit.
Yes, please.
OK, we'll arrange that for you. Right then, let's go back around the grounds. Let's go to Connie McLaughlin.
We finally had a shot on target, Jason. Hurrah! For the home side, in actual fact, it was Ryan Strain. He set himself about 20 yards out. Saw that the keeper was slightly off his line, but he managed to actually shoot right into the arms of Xander Clark. He was looking lively, but he's not had a lot to do, to be perfectly honest, this afternoon. And Mark was just talking there about what's keeping him awake, his munchies. I'm actually in the flight path of Glasgow Airport, so every 5 minutes or so I'm just watching nice people just go off on their holidays. Lucky them. Goals.
Yeah, they're lucky, aren't they? Thank you, Connie. Let's go to Tom Gale.
Bolton 0, Barnsley 0. Jason, any viewers who were with us moments ago, we saw Barnsley trouble the Bolton goal with a stunning free kick which could only be parried. We have to show kudos to the home side. 22 clean league sheets this season. 14 have come here at the University of Bolton Stadium. It's a tight and feisty affair. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
When you consider what's at stake, Anita, are you a little bit disappointed with how Manchester United have started against Wolves?
Yeah, I think, you think they have to make use of the pressure that they're applying against Wolves. They've been in and around that box the first 20 minutes of the game, really creating chances, but no clinical finisher.
Oh, but having said that, good free kick from Bruno Fernandes.
But you almost wonder, are they going to be missing Rashford?
Yeah.
It's straight into the hands of the keeper, Jason.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I know.
If that's
okay, Martin.
I know, but
this is live television.
I would say the worry is they're not really creating enough really good opportunities.
Absolutely.
And Wolves are quite comfortable at the moment. Of course, that can change at any moment, and I can be wrong.
Big chance for Palace.
They're making hard work of it, Manchester United. Really not getting. I mean, Rashford 29 goals, incredible. Jason is not there today, and I think he's a big miss.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think there might be a VAR shout at St Mary's, Chris Wise.
So Fulham think they should have a penalty. The ball has been whizzed in from the right-hand side. It's Lianco who's the potential Southampton offender, and their defender who's outstretched left arm. The ball seemed to strike, but Lianco was on the move. His arm wasn't too far away from the body. They've had a quick look at it, and they've decided, the VAR, Tony Harrington, it is no penalty. So we go on as we were at 0-0.
OK, thank you. And back we go to Mark Scott at Stamford Bridge.
And Chelsea still trying to find a way to fashion some chances against the Nottingham Forest side, who have conceded the joint most goals away from home this season. That'll be a worry for Frank Lampard. They're toiling. There was just that one half chance for Raheem Sterling when Joe Worrell recovered really well to make the block. Forest will be very happy with how things have gone so far.
And to Old Trafford, Kelly and Dion.
Yeah, I was just checking out the stats, actually, for Manchester United and scoring goals this season. They've only scored 49 in the Premier League this campaign. That's the same as Leicester in 18th. Only Aston Villa have scored fewer goals in the top half. And as you join us, Jason, Wolves now have a corner on the left-hand side. That man that both Dion and Martin have been talking about, Pedro Neto, with his right arm in the air as he prepares to whip it into the area. He does so, and it comes right out to the edge of the area. Nunes is there to pick it up. But that is a poor ball back into the box. Dion, this goes back to when Wolves have opportunities, they need to make the most of them.
Yeah, just a little bit loose in play there. Wolves with their corner, and then the ball that came in after that as well, it was too big. I did notice, though, that Diego Costa was speaking to Dawson as if to say, don't play out from the back, get it up the field. Bentley, the keeper's put the ball down on the left-hand side. He's kicked it towards the dugouts. Costa's in there. Gets a flick on, gets beyond Varane, and they're kind of in. Varane panics, corner. I think that's the way in for Wolves, Get the ball behind the back four of Manchester United and find a way in that way, because playing through Man United isn't working at the moment.
Just a word quickly, because Martin said that Bruno Fernandes free kick was straight at the keeper. Should he have done better?
To be fair, Martin has no place to talk about free kicks.
OK, and on that note, back to you guys in the studio.
He wants a right of reply. Look,
we
he's
must
ready.
have. We
he's
must
ready.
have.
Just like he was in his playing career. What'd you say?
Sometimes, James, it's difficult in the ground to see. You haven't got the best vantage point. Maybe they can't see from where they are, but from where I am, that was straight at the keeper.
OK, yeah. Again, we're creating live television here.
Yes, of course.
Just remember where you are. It's a really open game, by the way, at Villa Park, John Bennett.
Yeah, really entertaining game to watch. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Aston Villa on top. They're going to have about 10 corners before half-time at this rate. Beautiful Douglas Luiz corner, just punched away by Forster off the top of Tyrone Mings' head. Villa definitely the better side. They feel in control, but on the break, Tottenham just showing signs that they could cause problems. Harry Kane getting on the ball more and more. He was fouled by John McGinn just a few moments ago. John McGinn was booked. And by the way, Jason, last time I was on the show, my match was called off after a downpour at half-time. Much luckier today, not a cloud in the sky. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Yes, I remember that game. It gave me nightmares for weeks. Let's go to Tom Gale at the University of Bolton Stadium.
Where once again the home goalkeeper James Trafford is awfully busy, Jason. His latest save coming from a Man City loanee. It's Slobodan Tedic. He's in the Barnsley colours, wide left of the penalty area, tried to dink it over the England under-21 goalkeeper, but he stepped out a well-stretched arm. It is Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Well, I was keeping an eye, Kelly Summers, on that playoff semi-final. I'm so sorry, but apparently you've had a chance there.
Gosh, I might as well do your job for you. No, I'm only joking. I've only got one game to watch, haven't I? Really good chance for Manchester United. This Dion Dublin, you have just said to me, was better than the Anthony charge.
It on the top of his head. He doesn't want to head it. He's not very good at heading, and he should have scored the goal.
So still 0-0. Anthony with the two best chances so far for Manchester United, though.
Kelly, thank you very much indeed. In fact, I'll go to Martin and Anita on the two big talking points that we've had in the last 5 minutes or so. Anita, Anthony's got to do better there with that header.
That's got to be a sure goal for me.
Got to be.
He's just got to, redirect, head the ball down into the ground, and I think that beats the goalkeeper. He's just got a bit underneath it, and it's gone above the bar. But
It's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah. Is he trying to put it in the far corner there? Is that what he's
trying to head it
thinking?
down? He's trying to head it down, but he's almost just gone too early, and it's hit the top of his head, and he's got it all wrong.
Hello? There is a goal at Old Trafford, Kelly Summers.
There is indeed. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. Anthony this time making amends. He isn't the goal scorer, but he does all of the good work on the right-hand side where he's had so much joy. He was played through and he was smart. He saw Bentley coming out to him and he just played the ball back across goal. And there was Anthony Martial to tap home. Dion Dublin,
very
lovely
clever.
goal.
Yeah, really good finish as well. Bruno Fernandes in that little 10 roll as well. Just do a little bit of skill in the middle of the park. Lovely 1-2, I think it was, with Casemiro, and then he just leaves it in there, in behind, I think it was Gomez. He gets it, Anthony's one-on-one with the keeper, but he finds the better option, which is Martial. Martial doesn't go in towards the goal, he stays on the penalty spot. He's only got Dawson to beat. Dawson can't use his hands, he puts it in the corner, and that is a very composed finish. They have to do more of that, Man United. Make those chances count.
Yeah, they do deserve it though, don't they?
Yeah,
On
they've
the
been
balance
great.
of play so far.
Been so much better. Wolves have kind of been hanging in there. They've had 2 or 3 chances up the field. Pedro Neto down the left. But I just believe that United are the better side, have been the better side, haven't taken their chances. They have now.
Manchester United 1, Wolves 0.
Good goal. Potential red card at Selhurst Park, Mark Webber.
It went to VAR. Jefferson Lerma in the area, and the fist of Joachim Andersen hit onto his face. Now it's been ruled out. It's not a red card, but it took a while for them to make the decision. As Palace run forward here, they've been very brave, and it's been cleared off the line there, and it's 0-0. The red card disallowed.
What do you make of that then, Anita? You're just seeing replays of that then. It's a little punch in the face. Is it accidental?
yeah, I don't think it's intentional. It's a bit of a weird position for him to be in, I think, with a clenched fist in the box.
Exactly,
He's asking a question of the referee there. I think he might have got away with one.
Can we just say, though, it's the worst punch I've ever seen in my life. If it is intentional,
it's one of
if
those,
he's got away with it.
If you're going to do it properly.
Yeah, it's on Lerma.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's one of those, sorry, and I sometimes feel that when we watch the VAR, okay, can we run it in full speed? Because sometimes we stop it. We've seen this already this season, was a player with his arms around a player's throat when he was very momentarily there, he was sent off. Obviously,
I think he's lucky.
Yeah, but
I think he's lucky.
We can see the clenched fist, but we're stopping it and looking at it now, assuming.
Yeah, but Anita makes a good point. Why is his fist clenched?
Well, because
well,
you would be. You're in the box. And
but your fists were always clenched.
Of course, you protect. If they're loose, you could break something. I broke virtually every finger in my left hand.
No, I know, but
they've obviously felt it was okay. But it's a contact, but it looks worse than it really is. And I think sometimes the pictures can lie. I don't think he's punching him in the face. I think his arm is there. But obviously, Lerma's gone down. Have they given anything for that? Have they let it go, Jason, I assume?
I mean, you're the pundits, but anyway.
Well, I think we don't necessarily agree
VAR's
on this
letting that go.
Yeah.
VAR
I think
has let it
for
go.
what it's worth, I think he's lucky. But as I say, you're the pundits. I've only played 5-a-side.
No, Anita thought it was. She thought he was sending it off.
Well, no, I thought it was strange, that he's got his fist kind of clenched
and that's what you have to sometimes analyse. You're right, Anita.
And he's made contact. He's not made enough contact, perhaps, to really force that decision.
But let's throw it through.
But it's got.
Okay, look at it.
I know what you mean.
Look at it slow-mo, but then show it at actual speed, and let's see whether it's a foul.
You make a very good point. Also, the other thing I want to talk about here as well, we've had a penalty shout as well at Southampton, Fulham. You've seen it a couple of times. Again, do you think it was a penalty, Anita, for a potential handball?
No, we discussed this. It looks like Lyenko is actually trying to get his hand out of the way and. Consequentially makes contact with the ball, which is, unfortunate. You have seen them give him, but
come through a cluster of players and he's trying to move his arm away, and then they've made the right call.
Yeah. Okay, right. The right call there. Possibly the wrong call with the punch on Lerma. Okay, let's go to Villa Park. How's this one, John Bennett?
Aston Villa so close to making it 2-0 against Tottenham. Really good save by Fraser Forster. Good work by Ollie Watkins to pick out Leon Bailey just outside the 6-yard box. His low shot brilliantly saved by Forster. Then we had a penalty shout which went to VAR. Jacob Ramsey, he thought he'd been fouled by Emerson Royale. The VAR said no penalty. But Aston Villa are on top. They lead by 1-0.
And to St Mary's, Chris Wise. Is it tense there, Chris?
To be honest, it's quite flat. I was going to make the observation that the atmosphere has been pretty poor inside St Mary's from the home fans, but in the last 5 minutes or so, Saints have just shown a bit more bite. There's been a couple of firm challenges from Ward-Prowse and Alcaraz in midfield, and it's livened the place up a bit, and it needs to be livened up because as it stands, Southampton are going down.
And to Mark Scott at Stamford Bridge.
Finally, Chelsea have forced a save out of Keylor Navas. 18-year-old Lewis Hall on his first appearance since February, away on the left-hand side. Excellent cross to the edge of the 6-yard box where an unmarked João Felix on the run sent a glancing header towards the right corner of Navas's goal, and the Costa Rican leapt across to catch it. 10 to go till the break, and that is Chelsea's first attempt on target. 1-0 Forest.
Chesterfield, Notts County in the National League. Chris Coles.
And there's been the first goal of the afternoon. It's gone to Chesterfield from the penalty spot. Andrew Dallas, fouled by goalkeeper Sam Slocum, and it was Dallas who stepped up, placed it straight down the middle, and it's advantage Chesterfield. Deja vu for Notts County. They've been here before in the playoffs. They'll need another come-from-behind win if they're to go up. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
Oh, can you imagine the Notts County fans, what they'll say if they don't get promoted this year? It's been ever so tight between them and Wrexham, of course, in the National League. It's all Barnsley at Bolton Wanderers, Tom Gale.
It is, Jason. Still 0-0, but those away fans in the far right end will be much the happier. We've seen chances for Connell, Tedic, and the latest falling to Devante Cole. All of them working the goalkeeper, James Trafford. I'm looking down at Ian Evatt. It's one of those where the shade occupies the technical areas in his immaculate suit, but he looks as though he's about to burst. He's not happy with what he's seen from his side. It's Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
There's also a race for Europe in the Scottish Premiership. Connie McLaughlin.
There very much is, and there's definitely energy about this game. Oh, so close. Alex Gogic, the goalkeeper, Xander Clark, just punching it over the top of his bar from Alex Gogic there. Real opportunity for St Mirren to take the lead. But I was going to say there's really energy in this game, but not a lot happening in front of goal until that moment right there. I think what's interesting in this one is you can clearly see both sides desperate to try and to win it. Down the left-hand side, Josh Ginnelly trying to get some action for Hearts, but not connecting up particularly well with his striker, Lawrence Shankland. So I think that's probably what Stephen Naismith's going to be thinking about. Into the back of the net for St Mirren. I think it is Alex Gogic who got the final touch on it. It doesn't matter. They're 1-0 up against the run of play, it's got to be said. But St Mirren have got the advantage here in Paisley. St Mirren 1, Hearts 0.
Good timing, thank you. We're going to go straight to Stamford Bridge because someone's booted a ball at someone and someone seems very happy. Mark Scott.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher went through Yates and Yates went to ground and João Felix smashed the ball towards him. However, I can understand why João Felix is annoyed because he hit it towards the midriff of Yates and he's gone down holding his face. So it's a bit of a Rivaldo-esque situation, if you remember that one, where he grabbed his face when the infringement was nowhere near him. It's going to be a free kick to Forest, though, after all of that. Much ado about nothing.
Is it about time that referees started to get really tough on players for doing this sort of stuff? Because that's embarrassing from Yates, isn't it? That's embarrassing. The ball, if anything, has hit him in his midriff, and he has done a Rivaldo there, hasn't he?
It didn't hit him, but that doesn't just excuse Felix for smashing the ball, trying to smash the ball. Was Felix trying to hit him?
You may be, but you can't hold your face when the ball hasn't hit you in the face.
But I think Felix has caused that by trying to smash the ball. Yates just took evasive action, but the ball hasn't actually hit him. So then he was very wrong. And then there's a melee between all the players, and the referee doesn't quite know what's happening.
Anita's itching to come in
well,
on this.
I think this is where me and Martin actually agree, because I think it's the intention. You know, he's gone to smash the ball.
Yeah, but Yates is down holding his face.
Yeah, but his intent.
It hasn't hit his face.
Well, he hasn't.
He's wrong there.
That's what I mean.
But Felix he can't really complain.
We need to
because he smashes the ball.
There's been a goal. Selhurst Park. Mark Webber.
Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0, and Zaha hitting a bit of traffic on the edge of the area, but he found the ball the way through in the centre, waiting, unmarked. Eze, as easy as you come, strike home. Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0.
Any chances at St Mary's, Chris Wise?
Yeah, quite a big one for Fulham, to be honest. They worked it really nicely down the right-hand side with Wilson. A little pull back for Reed towards the far post. There was Willian. He took one touch, looped the ball up into the air for himself, and the angle was actually pretty tight. He hit the target, was going right in the top left-hand corner, and Lianco, the Southampton defender, had positioned himself brilliantly right on the line, was there to head it away, goalless.
And to Villa Park, John Bennett.
What a chance for Ollie Watkins to end his run of 4 games without a goal. It was Alex Moreno with a brilliant cross left-hand side. Powerful cross. Watkins diving header across the face of the goal. Aston Villa playing some lovely stuff at times. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
OK, thank you very much indeed. So let's talk about the Palace goal as well. Eze, what a star he's been in this Palace revival, Anita.
He's been incredible. I think he's had a revival under Roy Hodgson. He's scoring goals. He popped up there in the 18-yard box comfortably, left foot shot, strikes centre of the goal. Keeper's outside of his net, so, you know, comfortable finish for him. But, yeah, great first goal for Crystal
He's been
Palace.
terrific, isn't he, Eze?
I really like him, and in fairness, Patrick would stop picking him. And all that's happened is the new managers come in and put him in the side, great talent, Elise. Ayew makes a lovely little flick for him as well to come on to. So they're going really well, Palace, and some really good talent there.
OK, we can go back to our debate now about play acting. So where were we? So you two agree then, yeah?
Well, Yates is wrong for obviously holding his face.
And that was my point.
But Felix
Do you want referees to start clamping down on that?
None of that happens.
Kids see that.
Just a minute. None of that happens if Felix doesn't smash the ball in his direction.
And I completely agree with you.
So someone should be having a word with Felix.
Yeah, OK.
First.
Felix and also...
yes.
The fella lying on the floor as if, you know, he's been...
Bang their heads together. Bang their heads together and say, you've both been stupid. You've both been stupid.
Whoever, you know. But, you know, it's... Because we saw it in the Champions League.
Yeah.
In midweek, Real Madrid against Manchester City.
The play acting and all of that.
Jack Grealish and Danny Carvajal. And Grealish has done one of those, and Carvajal's gone down holding his face, and it's like, what are you doing? It's embarrassing.
Well, that was pathetic.
I mean, that was pathetic, and it is embarrassing. But I think the two can exist at the same time. I think the referee has to speak to Felix there, because that is dangerous play.
I don't know how Felix missed him, to be fair. He tries to smash it at him, and he hits Gallagher.
Maybe that sums up Chelsea's season.
Maybe that just sums up his finishing at the moment.
Right then, let's go to Villa Park. Apparently, someone's hit the bar, John Bennett. I have no idea what's going on.
It's Aston Villa who've hit the bar. I've got no idea how this game is still just 1-0 because Aston Villa having chance after chance after chance. Lovely left-footed strike by Emi Buendia, hitting the bar. Fraser Forster, the Tottenham goalkeeper, was beaten, but the woodwork has saved Tottenham, who have been really disjointed in this game. It's Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
And to Selhurst Park, Mark Webber.
And the man we normally talk about with goals at Crystal Palace, nearly having a chance. Long ball in to Zaha, and he weaves his way into the area, and he shoots just wide. And it's interesting, Martin, talking there about Eze and also Elise being the names that we're talking about at the moment. Zaha's been quiet of late, but he is gathering momentum. but he really needs to score, I think, if he's going to be part of this. At the moment, it's 1-0 to Palace.
Thank you, Mark. And Wolverhampton Wanderers on the attack, Kelly Summers.
Yeah, they've been better actually since they went behind. I say better in terms of having plenty of possession as they just cross the ball into the area, but it's cut out by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Sorry, they've had more possession, Dion Dublin, but they haven't really done anything with it.
No, they're getting into good areas and they just can't find that final pass. There's a few last-ditch tackles, Wan-Bissaka on that occasion. Anthony's getting back well. Casemiro, as you would imagine, is disciplined and getting back. Ericsson, so they're working really hard to get into defensive positions, Manchester United. And Wolves at the moment haven't got any guile to try and play around it or through it.
Yeah, it does look like Wolves are going to have a free kick on the left-hand side of the area, right on the edge of it. Casemiro with the foul there on Núñez. So a dangerous free kick in a good position for Wolves. We'll let you know if anything comes of it. 1-0 to United.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dion. And off we go to St Mary's. Chris Wise.
Half-time is looming, still 0-0, so Southampton are going down as it stands. I have to, and I'm sure Southampton fans will say the same thing, you have to expect more from Saints in the second half, and I feel like we've been saying that all season. But here at St Mary's, they picked up 10 points from 17 home games. They've lost 11 matches at home this season, and this just feels like such a typical on-trend display from Saints. They just haven't got enough quality, and we're in first half stoppage time.
So Saints going down as it stands. They will be in the Championship next season. Let's go to Stamford Bridge. Mark Scott.
Where Chelsea are being forced into a change just before the break. Mateo Kovacic went down in the left-hand side towards the Chelsea penalty area. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is readied for action. Final few seconds of normal time at the end of a very disappointing first half for Chelsea, who really have struggled to create anything against a Forest side that have been awful on the road.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether Connie McLaughlin would also say it's been disappointing at St Mirren Hearts, Connie.
I suppose it depends on which side of the stadium you're sitting in at the moment, to be honest, Jason, because if you're a St Mirren fan, you're loving life right now, because I actually thought when that goal went in, it would spark something in Hearts, given how much they're desperate for the points if they want to land this third place in the Scottish Premiership. But it's actually done the opposite. It's actually invigorated St Mirren. Curtis Main just did another opportunity there to make it 2-0, only for Xander Clark keeping the ball out of the back of the net. So, I mean, it's what, 2 minutes before the end of the first half. I'm telling you what, I wouldn't rule out another goal for anything else for St Mirren. I was going to say goalless. 1-0 St Mirren.
Well, I can tell you as well, Tom Gale, that Barnsley, watching this game here in the studio, have been much the better side in the playoff.
That certainly is the case, Jason. We're just moving into first half added stoppage time, and they'll be bitterly disappointed that they aren't ahead. They bossed possession. They've been very creative. Remember, there was concerns that they stumbled over the line. They were fourth in the league for a very long time, and they lost on the final day at home to Posh, which saw them sleep into the playoffs. But they are looking by far the more threatening. It's Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Also at Wembley Stadium today for Chesterfield, Notts County, Chris Coles.
Chesterfield still lead Notts County by 1-0. 23 points separated these two in the league, but it's Chesterfield who finished third that have started the brighter. They lead through Andrew Dallas's penalty. They're knocking the ball around with confidence, not really yet to threaten. 16 gone. It's 1-0 Chesterfield.
Half-time at St Mary's, Chris Wise.
0-0. Southampton are slipping out of the Premier League party without anyone really noticing. This hasn't been a performance that suggests everything depends on it for them. And remember, they have to win. Fulham have had most of the ball. They've had almost all the chances, though we haven't had many of them. The best of them, Willian's shot from short range, cleared off the line by Lianco. There were boos at half-time from the home supporters. They know what's coming. Southampton 0, Fulham 0.
Thank you very much indeed. Also half-time at Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Kelly Summers.
Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. Manchester United extending their lead over Liverpool to 4 points in the race for fourth. They've had the best chances here, but without their top scorer Marcus Rashford, they still look far from their best. Anthony in particular has got in some brilliant positions. He spurned 2 brilliant chances, firing and heading wide before he eventually turned provider for the goal. The ball slipped through to him, and with Wolves keeper Bentley bearing down on him, he squared the ball back to Martial, who stroked the ball home from close range. Wolves responded well, but a bit like United at times. times. They just look pretty toothless up front. Manchester United 0-1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, Kelly, you're absolutely right. They do, don't they? To Villa Park, John Bennett.
Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0 at half-time. Villa on course for 6 home wins in a row without conceding. Much the better side. The goal for Jacob Ramsey, lovely side foot finish from a Leon Bailey pass. Since then, Villa on top. Bailey forced a great save from Fraser Forster. Ollie Watkins put a diving header wide. Emi Buendia hit the bar. For Spurs, very little. Son Heung-min hit the post. He would have been offside though anyway. Ryan Mason's side very uninspiring going forward. Villa haven't done the double over Tottenham since 1996. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Thank you, John. And the half-time whistle has just gone. The Forest fans delighted, Mark Scott.
Absolutely. Forest belying their terrible away record with a pretty good first half at the Bridge, although they have been given a helping hand by yet another toothless Chelsea performance. The goal, a gift. Lodi's looping cross met by Awoniyi, who got there ahead of Chelsea keeper Mendy, who tried and failed miserably to punch clear ahead of Awoniyi. A Chalobah error almost gifted Forest a second, and Frank Lampard's side didn't get an effort on target until the 35th minute, and even then it was a comfortable Keylor Navas save. The Blues' very expensive jigsaw puzzle hasn't had the right pieces put together today. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
Indeed, and we'll talk to Martin Keown and Anita Sante in just a moment about Chelsea. 35th minute until their first shot on target. Absolutely incredible. Half-time at Selhurst Park, Mark Webber.
It's 1-0 to Crystal Palace. It took a while for the home side to warm up, but it's a deserved lead really for them. They struggled to complete their lines of possession for a while until Wilfred Zaha via Jordan Ayew cheeky flip fed top scorer Beriche Eze in front of goal for a comfortable strike. Bournemouth actually need the points more, to be honest with you, but they've shown little intent in front of goal. Perhaps the biggest talking point here, Joachim Andersen's clenched fist, how can I put this, connecting with Lerma's face. He went down injured. A VAR said no red card, no professional foul, and don't worry, I think if there's any boxers listening to this like Tyson Fury, I don't think we found your next opponent yet. 1-0.
No, we haven't. Thank you very much indeed, Mark. I'm glad you've perked up, Mark. Thank you. Right, don't forget, you can see all the goals in the Premier League tonight. Match of the day, 10 o'clock on BBC Two. Please make a note of this. That is because it's the Eurovision Song Contest, in case you didn't notice. Right, we're going to do a little half-time abysmal news roundup, first of all, OK? So let's do Chelsea, first of all. How can a side that includes Enzo Fernandez, Kovacic, Felix, Raheem Sterling, Mendy, 35 minutes before their first serious attack on goal? How is that allowed to happen?
Yeah, it's shocking, but it again speaks to the fact that Chelsea are missing a proper number 9. You know, someone in the box who's going to just put their neck on the line, score an ugly goal, you know, throw themselves at things. And yeah, they have a lot of comfortable possession in and around the midfield third, but they're not creating anything really from open play.
And we need a strong Chelsea, don't we, in the Premier League?
Without doubt, and I'm pretty certain next year they'll do that, but it needs to be done with the manager and the direction. They've had 75% possession and they've had one shot on target, and they're playing against a Forest team that have only one game all season away from home.
Yep.
What is the problem? The handbrake has to come off. I don't really care if you've not got a centre forward. Man City did it, didn't they? The last 2 seasons with a fake number 9. Why can't Chelsea do that? It's really not good enough.
Good question, and I'll round up the abysmal news half-time roundup with Tottenham in just a moment after a goal at St Mirren Hearts. Connie McLaughlin.
I did say it was coming, and it has for the home side. Ryan Strain from the edge of the box, right-footed effort into the top corner past Xander Clark. An absolute beauty put at St Mirren in a great position in this one. It's St Mirren 2, Hearts 0.
Thank you, Connie. So, if you thought that Chelsea having one shot was bad, how about this? Spurs have failed to have a single shot in that first half. Anita, first time they failed to have a shot before half-time in a Premier League game since September 2021. That is 70 football matches.
Yeah, it's incredible. This is the inconsistency of a Tottenham side. You don't know what kind of Tottenham you're going to see any given day. With the quality they have in Harry Kane, Son, Richarlison, that's busy in the opening minutes of the game, but still not creating chances. And the only real chance they created was an offside chance with Son when he breaks the back line and he hits the post.
And he still missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, Chelsea and Spurs. We're talking about two powerhouses in English football here, Martin.
And right before our eyes this season, Spurs now, I wouldn't say they're as bad as Chelsea. Of course, they've had moments, but really, were they right to get rid of Conte? when you can see that he must have been doing a manful job there, because we look at, I think, the number of games they're losing since he's gone. I mean, that was a relatively easy goal to concede, wasn't it? We're just looking again at Ramsey ghosting into midfield, a real talent for Aston Villa. And I think when you're up against a really good manager that Emery is tactically, he's going to find a way to punch holes into this team. And Spurs are hanging on today. And Villa have really turned a corner.
Yeah. Villa looking good. Right, half-time in the playoff semi-final first leg in League One. Tom Gale.
Barnsley 0, Bolton 0, Jason. Not quite yet the goal fest that we saw at Peterborough last night, but the visitors, with just one win in their last 5 coming into this, will be by far the happier. Connell and Tedic both drawing saves from James Trafford, a keeper who's on loan from Man City. He's been superb form all season, demonstrating it here this afternoon. Clean sheets in just under half his league games this season, and he's working awfully hard to keep hold of another one today. Bolton's best chance falling to their top scorer, Dion Charles, which he shanked wide. 20 goals this season, but playing like a man with the frustration of having scored only 3 in his last 16 appearances. At half-time, Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Yes, and it is half-time now at St Mirren. Connie McLaughlin.
Yeah, the race for Europe is well and truly still alive, Jason. For St Mirren, that is anyway. Hearts definitely have still got work to do. So it is this afternoon. Saints have got the advantage at half-time. Their second shot only on target was Joe Shaughnessy's volley effort into the back of the net past Xander Clark from close range. And then just a couple of minutes ago, that opportunity from Ryan Stein, an absolute beauty to be fair, just on the edge of the area, right for the shot into the back of the net. It would have been a stinger, I think, if Xander Clark managed to get a hand on it. But despite Hearts' desperation for points this afternoon, and they really do need it, because as it stands at the moment, they would, well, before this game, they were 5 points behind Aberdeen. So they needed the points if they had any chance of getting that third place, which of course guarantees them automatic qualification into the group stages. So an opportunity for them today. They've got work to do in the second half. It is St Mirren 2, Hearts 0.
Thank you, Connie. A lack of goals in the other games in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Rangers put 3 past Celtic in the lunchtime game in the Old Firm derby. Pick of the action has been at Tannadice, where bottom side Ross County took the lead after just 38 seconds through Jordan White before Wigan loanee Jamie McGrath equalised for Dundee United from the spot. Right, let's head back to Old Trafford. Let's get the first half thoughts of Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
Yeah, welcome back to the sunshine, Jason. The highlight of my afternoon, other than that goal from Martial, was probably trying to get down here pitch side with you. The realisation on people's faces when they realised it was actually Dion Dublin pushing them to get down here pitch side. You're loved around here, though, really.
It's only a slight nudge.
Yeah, slight nudge.
Out of the way, please. Kelly Summers is coming through. That's what I was saying.
We've got work to do, because we do need to update viewers on that first half from a Manchester United point of view. They've got the lead, but it wasn't convincing, was it?
They did okay. They did what they had to do. Wolves were very weak in attack. They got to great areas. The final ball was really poor, albeit a lot of last-ditch tackling from Manchester United. Going forward, United have had better chances than the one they scored. They've let them pass, which is really, really poor. So United have to be better in the final third. Wolves have to be better. United have only been good down the right-hand side. That's it.
And that's come from Anthony a lot of it. Of course, we talked about his missed chances, but he did set up the goal. What will Eric Ten Hag be saying at half-time?
You might give them a kick up the backside, Kelly, because they're just a little bit slow in their possession. Nothing's quick. Get the ball in quickly. Get hand-on play. Everything's got to be done quicker, sharper. Midfield's okay. Midfield's okay. Defensively, not brilliant. Up front, very, very sloppy in front of goal.
As for Wolves, their away form is terrible. 1-2 on their travels so far this season. But we looked, didn't we, as we walked down here, Dion? It does look like changes could be imminent. It does look like potentially Raul Jimenez could be coming on.
Yeah, which is a danger, I feel, for United. On his day, he can be a very good player. Diego Costa's tried. He's tried to be a presence. He hasn't really done anything. He hasn't had any ball to be able to bring in and play. He's had runners off him, but he hasn't won a header yet. So maybe that's a change they need to get in the final third and choose better.
It's potentially a conversation we can have in the second half, Dion, because Wolves, of course, signed Diego Costa earlier this season on a short-term deal because they didn't have a striker. It's a problem Manchester United have this afternoon. Maybe we shouldn't be too surprised there's only been one goal. 2 teams without centre-forwards. Who'd have thought it? Only 1 goal.
Kelly, can I just ask you very quickly then, who's doing the tea run at half-time?
Well, do you know what? Looking at the time, Jason, I'm not sure there's going to be enough time for tea, and you've got yourself out of it because of the sweets. Excellent selection of sweets.
There you go, you see, Jace.
Hey, there he is. Fantastic, Dion. Great to see you, Kelly. Thank you both very much indeed. All eyes on the Premier League today. Tomorrow, focus will be on Wembley, where Chelsea against Manchester United in the Women's FA Cup final is a sellout. United in their first ever FA Cup final. Siobhan Chamberlain has been to see Alatoon and Alicia Russo. FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United, 1:50 tomorrow on BBC One. Looking forward to that. Let's take a look at the route to the final as well. Chelsea have won it 3 times in the last 5 years. Anita, it's going to be a cracking game, isn't it?
Fantastic game. Sold out Wembley, 90,000 people going to be there. Atmosphere incredible. Man United's first time to a final. Incredible occasion. You know, Chelsea have obviously been there multiple times and will want to get their consecutive, third FA Cup trophy.
Yeah, and sellout at Wembley as well. It's going to be a great occasion, Martin.
Amazing how the women's game is now developing, growing. Incredible, isn't it? In such a short space of time. And Manchester United are only 5 years in existence. Their team didn't have a team. Can you believe that? But now they're in a cup final. Yeah. And they're quickly going to put themselves on the map when it comes to trophies. So Chelsea need to respond. World-class talent on display. It's going to be an occasion you want to be at.
And Anita, you'll know this as well. And now and again, it's worth talking about this in a UK context as well, because I know that you know what's going on in South Wales as well, and you see the growth of the game. And I see it as a dad of a football-mad 13-year-old. You know, the success of the Lionesses plus the WSL as well. There are so many youngsters, my daughter's age, for example, who are so inspired by what they see every single Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely, and I think the momentum from the Euros is created the sell-out games across the domestic league and the WSL, and now with the cup final, it's an opportunity for young players to see the top level of the game across their screens with their friends and family, and also aspire, to one day play for their own clubs. And everyone dreams about being at Wembley if you're a football fan.
And their own countries as well, because I know, quite rightly, the Lionesses had a lot of coverage last year as well. But I look at what's happening with the development of the game in Wales, where I live and where my daughter plays as well. It's absolutely huge for the rest of the country as well, Martin. Let's not forget.
Participation sport is huge, isn't it? And I think credit the BBC as well for recognising and putting the games live on television, because dramatically, it just shows you, doesn't it? Terrestrial TV, you show it, people want to play it, people watch it, and then they want to go and see it live.
Absolutely.
And we're getting a full capacity crowd tomorrow at Wembley. Amazing.
Huge. Right then, let's go back around the grounds. Let's go to Chris Wise at St Mary's.
We are 70 seconds into the second half. Southampton 0, Fulham 0. There was a bit of a rousing reception from the home supporters when Saints emerged from the tunnel. 45 minutes essentially to save their season in a game they have to win. A draw, not good enough. They've got to beat Fulham this afternoon to stand a chance of at least taking it to next weekend, so they need to find a goal from somewhere. 0-0.
Yeah, Chris, thank you very much indeed. So let's remind you then, as it stands, as Chris Wise says, Southampton will be playing in the Championship next season, although they have a chance, and I think they've scored, Chris Wise.
Well,
unbelievable.
Alcaraz has scored, but immediately the flag has gone up for offside. And I have to say, fortunately, from my position high in the stand at St Mary's, I was bang in line with that. I'm looking directly in the eye line of the assistant referee on the opposite side of the pitch now. And for me, it was offside. I think he's got the right call. It was pretty tight, but that through pass from Ward-Prowse right down the middle for Charlie Alcaraz, who took it on. It's a lovely finish from Alcaraz, to be fair. One touch, got it out of his feet, low finish beyond Leno, but the flag was raised for offside, and indeed it stands. The decision stands, so it is still 0-0.
Oof, it is a really good finish as well. I thought that would have been a great chance for Southampton, Martin, as well. And also, given that we were showing the Premier League table as it stands, and here come Fulham as well. What a start to the second half there. But they desperately need that goal. Oh, my goodness, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Chris Wise. Fulham have scored. This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see the
60
replay.
seconds. If 60 seconds can sum up Southampton's entire season, let it be that. A disallowed goal at one end for an offside, and immediately at the other end, Fulham go and score. They break away. Wilson down the right, the pullback. Reed with the prod across goal. Carlos Vinicius there, 6 yards out. A missable opportunity, particularly for a man in such good form as him at the moment. And Southampton staring right down the barrel now. They have to win. They're behind. Southampton 0, Fulham 1.
Well, I can't believe this. I mean, this is reminiscent of all those years ago when Watford played Leicester and Troy Deeney went down the other end, Martin, and scored in that incredible semi-final many, many years ago. It reminded me of that straight away. Can you believe that? And Chris is right. Just sums up Saints this season.
It does, and they were unlucky, just a fraction offside for their goal, which was disallowed straight down the other end. I'm looking at a challenge here, and really that ball should be being cleared, and it just lands at the feet of Vinicius. It could have gone anywhere, and he couldn't miss. It's just a tap in, so it goes from one end into the other, and it pretty well sums up their season. And they didn't look like a team in that first half that were needed to win a game of football, to stay up. They
you need to get out there and get in the faces.
To start, but suddenly they wait 45 minutes and then now they've been punished at the other end.
Anita, can you believe that?
No, and you just question, the concentration there, because you've gone on one end, almost created a chance to score, and then immediately after concede. And I think they got caught cold and really got to clear that, into Rosette and lands at Vinicius with an easy finish.
So Fulham lead Southampton by 1-0. Southampton will be in the Championship next season. Will Hughes has had a fantastic effort saved for Palace against Bournemouth. We'll go there very shortly, but let's head to Mark Scott at Stamford Bridge first.
Well, we've only played 90 seconds since the break. Forest a goal to the good, and Awoniyi with a good spin here to almost break clear and have another run at goal. No further changes from Frank Lampard at the break, but something needs to change in terms of the pattern of this game, because it has been a rotten showing from Chelsea so far.
What a hit at Palace, Mark Webber.
Absolutely. Elise with the corner, Will Hughes on the area after a bit of traffic, and he belted it, and it really did sting Neto's palms, but a strong stop by the keeper, to be fair, to push it out. Before that, Zaha had a ball in early doors. Joel Ward nearly getting something on the right-hand side. Normal service seems to have resumed. Palace in the ascendancy, 1-0.
It was a great hit. Off we go to Villa Park. John Bennett.
Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0, and Jason, Tottenham still haven't had a shot in that first half. 0 shots, 0 corners, with 44% possession, caught offside 5 times. Villa have started strongly second half. Ramsey had a good chance, brilliant tackle to be fair by Romero, and Ashley Young has had a shot across goal as well. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Carl Vasala scored for Kilmarnock against Livingston in the Scottish Premiership. Back we go to Old Trafford. Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. We told you at the break that we thought Raul Jimenez was going to come on. Well, it's actually Hwang Hee-chan who has come on. So an attacking change from Dion, but it hasn't made too much difference so far.
Not yet, but they have come out looking a little bit more lively than they were in the first half. Wolves, a lot of it coming through Lamini in the middle of the park, but United again are comfortable, out of possession, in possession. It's just that Wolves are not quite sure what to do in the final third. That's their problem.
Yeah, Manchester United on the attack. Then Christian Eriksen urged to shoot. He does, but it is blocked. And Dion, they did have an opportunity or an opening just a few moments ago, which ended in Anthony having another shot blocked. But you were frustrated with some of the decision making in the build-up.
It's just there's no real. There's a Wolves player down as we speak. And
I should tell you that booing is because there is a Wolves player down. Luke Shaw has finally put the ball out of play. It's Mario Lemina currently down as the Wolves physios come on. So sorry, Dion, as you were saying.
No, I was just saying that it's really frustrating because, when you make a bad decision in a side like this, a club like this, you should be told about it. We're just looking at the replay.
Tried to.
Yeah, exactly. This is wrong. We're just looking at the replay, and I think Lemina's ankle was kind of twisted because the ball hit it and he didn't move, so the referee's done the right thing. Yeah,
potentially another change here for Julian Lopetegui's side. As it stands, though, Wolves still chasing this one. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0.
Well, I have to say, Mark Scott, the Forest side have been absolutely terrific today. They should really be 2-0 up.
Yeah, massive chance for them to double their lead. Jay corner flicked on at the near post by Felipe. Moussa Niakate almost stabbing in his first goal for the club from a couple of yards out. He stretched but only got a glancing touch on it. Had it been more meaty, it was beyond Mendy because he was nowhere near it. That came about after Lewis Hall was dispossessed. Danilo went on a mazy run which led to that corner. Good start to the second half for Forest.
Are Southampton losing their heads, Chris Wise?
Not yet, but you sense it might not be too far away. We've just seen Walcott go on a bit of a mazy, buzzy run towards the edge of Fulham's penalty area that was blocked, but at the moment, all the noise coming from the Fulham fans over to my right-hand side. Southampton's Premier League status slipping away.
Somebody is injured at Selhurst Park, Mark Webber.
Yeah, Wilf Zaha will come off to a round of applause. What a terrible season he's had, or unfortunate season he's had. He's just pulled up with a hamstring, nobody around him. You could see him pull up with it on his right leg. He'll be replaced by Oddswan Edouard, and he is limping off at the side of the pitch right now. Palace are 1-0 up.
Have Spurs had a shot yet? John Bennett.
They haven't had a shot yet. This is just too easy for Aston Villa. The Tottenham fans over on the opposite side, most of them all in white, will be absolutely furious with this performance. Aston Villa still 1-0 up. Oh, here's Harry Kane. Harry Kane for Tottenham. Great save. Emi Martinez. Højbjerg following up. His son in the box as well. It's a first shot for Tottenham. Can they take advantage here on the rebound? No, they can't. Villa get the ball away. Before that, Buendia had a shot saved by Forster. That's the first opportunity for Tottenham in this game with 52 minutes on the clock. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
There'll be a cheer in Leeds and Leicester. Mark Scott.
There will, because Chelsea are back level just minutes after Forest went so close to going 2 up. Trevor Chalobah away on the right-hand side, low ball in towards the penalty spot. Raheem Sterling's hit, got a deflection on its way through from just inside the box. It'll be his goal, and it is a big goal for those other sides down towards the bottom. 1-1.
Oh, yeah, and it does take a deflection, doesn't it? I think it's somebody on the floor. Takes the deflection off his head, doesn't it? But hey, the other thing, Martin, look at the relief from Raheem Sterling when he celebrates that goal.
Do you know he had a really good chance in the first half? Worrell gets back, makes a really good challenge, and I'm looking at Sterling thinking, has he got it? Has he still got it? Has he got that pace? And there he was really clever, very much like the Martial goal we saw earlier. You don't have to go run. It was clever. He just pulls away from the defender and then tucks away his finish. And it's a shame on Forest, because I thought Forest were much the better of a team again in the second half. And it's up against the run of play, but Sterling back on the score sheet is really important for his confidence, Jason.
Yeah, Anita, first Premier League goal for Raheem Sterling since scoring against Forest on New Year's Day at Forest.
Well, this will do him the world of good, I think. It's been a long time coming, you know, lots of question marks whether or not he could keep on scoring, and it's unfortunate for Forest because, as Martin said, they've really been on top the start of the second half, but great finish.
Do we think
it hits Yates? I'm just thinking.
Was it going in?
Do you know? I'd like to see another replay.
Okay.
I didn't want to say
I'll
that
arrange
out loud.
that for you. Don't worry.
But nonetheless, I think Yates, it hits him on the head. I think it's Yates who's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's looking as if to say, was that going wide? And have I got in the way of it? And there might be a case for that. It's going to be close. We'll see it from the reverse angle.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Can you keep looking at it? And then make your mind up.
I'll keep it. You
okay, well, I go to Connie McLaughlin. Making your mind up, get it? Eurovision. Connie, hey!
How can I follow that one? Come on, give me a break. Listen, yeah, we're back into the second half in this one. It's St Mirren still leading by 2-0. They're shaking off that poor run of form recently as well, for sure. Only third will do, though, if you're a Hearts fan, and certainly it looks as though, given the fact that we've only got 9 points left to play for after today, the hope of that could be slipping away. And given the fact that Aberdeen are drawing right now, that could have been the opportunity that Hearts needed. But as it stands here in Paisley, it's 2-0 St Mirren.
Thank you, Connie. And big game, Bolton Wanderers Barnsley in the League One playoff semi-final first leg. Tom Gale.
Where it's 0-0, Jason. There's a green, gold, blue banner in the away end which reads Barnsley FC. It's just like watching Brazil. I'm not quite sure at those levels yet, but they'll be frustrated not to be had. Chances galore. James Trafford, with a Bolton club record of 22 league clean sheets this season, is by far the busier goalkeeper. As it stands, Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
Motherwell unbeaten in their last 4 away games. And I should tell you that Kevin Van Veen has had a terrific season for Motherwell. That's his 26th goal of the season from the spot on 52 minutes. Huge game at Wembley Stadium. Chesterfield, Notts County. Chris Coles.
Chesterfield continue to edge it, Jason, leading by 1-0, but signs of life from Notts County. The passing is a bit sharper. The movement is a little bit crisper and a little bit more threatening. They've had their first effort on goal. Aaron Numan straight at goalkeeper Ross Fitzsimons. Chesterfield defending well and offering sporadic threats on the break. And it's Chesterfield who finished 23 points behind Notts County, remember, that have that 1-goal lead as we approach half-time.
That will be unbelievable if Notts County don't make the Football League after the race they've had with Wrexham in the National League. Off we go to St Mary's. Chris Wise, time running out for Southampton.
Yeah, and it's almost as if that Fulham goal has flicked the on switch for Saints, because suddenly they want to play, suddenly they look threatening. Here's a Ward-Prowse free kick into the penalty area, caught by Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper. They had a chance a moment ago, Saints, as well. Walker-Peters got down the right-hand side. It's the first time we've seen this all game from Saints. They've got a 6'7" forward in Paul Onuachu up front, and they got a ball into the penalty area for him to try and get his head on it and test Leno. The ball went over the top of the crossbar from Onuachu, but we just haven't seen enough of playing to his strengths from Saints today.
OK, so as it stands, Southampton will be in the Championship next season. Right, Martin and Anita, you've seen that Raheem Sterling shot a few times now. What do we think?
I think it was definitely on target.
Yeah, it was on target. I think Yates in his endeavour is trying to get that block, and he's not able to really, redirect the ball there.
Yep.
Forest are battling well, though. Fighting, competing. It's woken Chelsea up also. So we've got a real game on our hands here.
Are we expecting to see Brendan Johnson, do you think, unleashed for the last 20 minutes or so?
I think, well, that would be good news at some point. If he's fit enough, why not? He's got electrifying pace. And it would just keep them a little bit more honest at the back, because Shaliba, who's playing right side of centre half, keeps ending up as a right wing, so they're coming in droves, and it's just inviting players on, and it's getting hairy for Forest.
Yeah, Chelsea looking a little better, aren't they, in the second half, Anita?
Yeah, they've just gotten a bit more energy now. You know, they're able to gain territory higher up the pitch with numbers. As you mentioned,
there's another
Conor Gallagher getting a shot off from distance just now. But yeah, I think a change for Forest could just help them.
Yeah, maybe. Right then, let's go to Manchester United, because I think there's been a corner for Wolves and a chance, Kelly Summers.
Yeah, Wolves have been so much better in this second half. They're still trailing, but Dion, you've been quite animated. Firstly, thumbs up when Nelson Semedo put a fizzing cross into the box, but then when Max Kilman just headed that wide, you shook your head in disappointment.
Yeah, it's just because they've done so well in the first half. They were getting into areas that they've just got into and wasting it. This time, a couple of corners, a couple of crosses. The quality's better. The runs have been good. I mean, Diego Costa was a yard away from just getting across Wan-Bissaka from the Semedo cross. Couple of corners from Neves, very, very good quality. And Kilman just not timing his run quite right. But getting to the ball first in Man United's box is a danger for Man United.
Yeah, Wolves look like they've got a bit more zip, a bit more energy in this second half. But we also just said to each other, Manchester United have got to be careful here.
Yeah, listen, they know they have to play better than this. At the moment, they are in control of the possession. But when it comes to chances, Wolves are coming back into this one. They've got to be careful. They've got to concentrate and take their chances.
Yeah, Manchester United leading 1-0, but Wolves very, very much still in this.
Thank you very much indeed, Kelly. And just a reminder, in that race for Champions League spots as well, as it stands, Manchester United are 4 points clear of Liverpool. Both have played 35 points. In fact, Newcastle United and Manchester United both on 66 points, having all played 35. Off we go to Villa Park. John Bennett.
Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Signs of life from Tottenham. They've finally woken up. That one-on-one Harry Kane chance should have scored. Brilliant tackle by Højbjerg to win the ball back. Kane, one-on-one with Martinez, shot it low and it was saved by Martinez. So that was their first shot. And then, would you believe, they had their first corner as well, Tottenham. So finally something to sing about for the fans opposite me, the Tottenham fans. But Aston Villa have a free kick in a dangerous area now. It's Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Oh, it's a great goal at Chelsea and also a goal at Selhurst Park, Mark Webber.
It's a great goal for Eberechi here. He gets the ball in the area. Must be something about South Coast footballers. They have a chance one end, they lose it 60 seconds later, and they allow Eberechi to get the ball and run in and absolutely do a fantastic shot on it to make it Palace 2, Bournemouth 0.
Oh my goodness, Mark Scott, can you believe it?
Incredible scenes. No doubt that this is Raheem Sterling's goal. Anita made the point that Chelsea have had more energy in this second half. Plenty of energy about the way they attacked. Loftus-Cheek burst over halfway, kept the ball, teed up Raheem Sterling inside the area, cut inside beautifully, and the finish was gorgeous as well. Curved it beyond Keylor Navas and into the far corner. What a turnaround, and horrible deja vu for Forest. One up in West London against Brentford not that long ago. They lost 2-1 and they trailed 2-1 at the bridge now.
Absolutely wonderful finish from Raheem Sterling. Martin, take it away.
Yeah, and we talked about Sterling. Was he quick enough? They got that goal. We said it would improve his confidence. It was really important, and there you saw it, didn't you? The quality. Straight away, cuts inside his opponent as if he's got ABS brakes, and then just whips it into the corner as if he's in his own back garden. They're on the attack again. It's another... We're just having a look at the replay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
You did very well.
Well done. Well
you
done
did really well, because I was so
team.
waiting to pile in and say, Martin, you're watching the replay.
But you could watch that all day, to be fair.
You could. It's a great... In fact, here they come again. Here come Chelsea. Forest are all over the place at the moment.
I know, and suddenly it looks frantic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks absolutely frantic.
Shaken up with that, I think. Sterling, lovely run on the outside shoulder, but it's the way he puts Felipe on the floor to cut back inside and just whip that shot into the goal. But
Forest, Steve Cooper needs to do something here, because this is reminiscent of Forest, what they've been like all season, home and away, Martin.
Yeah, and he just talked about when they were last in West London against Brentford, and they sit too deep and they just invite people on. And what happens is Chelsea have woken up. Lampard's gone in, he's given the team a blast. They've come out with more energy, and suddenly we've got...
Cooper's not happy with something. He seems to be having a go at the fourth official over something. I don't know what it is, whether you can keep your eye on that whilst we go and get some reaction from Eddie Howe, because earlier in the lunchtime game we finished Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2. Let's hear from the Newcastle boss.
Eddie, crazy game to watch. Did you go through just about every emotion in that 96 minutes?
Yeah, we did. It was a strange game, from the low of conceding the penalty, potentially going 2-0 down to then the highs of going 2-1 up, and we couldn't see the game out. So ultimately feel disappointed now, but that could be a big point for us.
Absolutely, in the cold light of day and time, to avoid defeat might be crucial here today.
Yeah, it might be, you just don't know, and I think that's where sometimes you have to take what you're given. I thought we were okay today without being at our very best, and in this league, you know, we've learned this season that you have to hit your best levels to win.
Fine margins, as you say, you expected a fast start. They could have been 2-0 up, suddenly you were 1-1.
Yeah, so game swings on huge moments, and Popey's made a massive save for us. He's done that all season, so that was a huge moment in this game today. And then we got our penalties in between. I thought we could have done better, maybe around their box, but we just couldn't see the game out. I was disappointed to concede from that corner.
Callum Wilson, 2 penalties. I don't think he's missed one in the Premier League for Newcastle.
Don't be saying that too loudly. I think he was ice cool today. I thought there were 2 pressure moments, you know. The second one, especially after scoring the first, is never easy to hit another one, but he changed his plan and where he went, and full credit to him because they're 2 clinical finishes.
Big point for Leeds United. Is this a big point for Forest, Mark Scott?
Oh my word, they were involved in a topsy-turvy game against Southampton, and it's now 2-2 between Forest and Chelsea at the Bridge. Taiwo Awoniyi with his second goal of the game, a looping ball into the penalty area, and there was Awoniyi unmarked to guide in from the edge of the 6-yard box. We're all square, although VAR are having a look at it to see if Awoniyi was offside. So the Forest celebrations are on ice for now.
Possibly offside. Huge goal in the playoffs, Tom Gale.
First blood to the visitors, Jason. Bolton 0, Barnsley 1. We can't say it hasn't been coming, but what I have to say is it was going to take something special to beat James Trafford. Corner swung in. Bolton don't clear their lines. Devante Cole, edge of the box, lays it off to Cadden with his sweet left foot, which curls away into the opposite bottom corner. He races off to the south stand to celebrate, looking up at the gods, which is packed out full of Barnsley faithful. Bolton 0, Barnsley 1.
Has it been given at Stamford Bridge, Mark Scott?
It has indeed. Awoniyi with his second of the game. Raheem Sterling with 2 goals for Chelsea as well. It is 2-2. They were checking whether there was a flick on towards Awoniyi. He would have been offside from the flick. He wasn't from the original ball in. There was no flick on. Goal is good. What a finish to the game here. 2-2.
Oh, it's going to be a frantic finish, isn't it, Anita?
Absolutely. I mean, that was a lovely ball cross from the wide area into the box there. Yeah. As we've seen, you know, Chelsea had warning shots. He scored a goal with his head earlier from a crossing situation. And again, he's the first to react in the box, and a lovely headed, cushioned down header to put it past.
It's beautiful, the ball in, isn't it? It's just, this is what you have to do. You know, you want to try hard, you want to get quality. There's no substitution for that.
Delightful ball.
Yeah. You put a quality ball into the box and someone might get on the end of it. And to be honest, you can see Frank's absolutely fuming because the defending's shocking. They're trying to come out, but the line's really poor and he just sneaks in and gets the goal.
I'll tell you what we should do is, let's take a look at the bottom of the table as it stands, OK? So this is a live Premier League table, and look at this, because Southampton are heading for the Championship next season. So as it stands, Southampton 1-0 down at home to Fulham. They are going down, but look how tight this is. Leicester City, Leeds United, Everton and Nottingham Forest. Anita, I mean, goodness me. I mean, Forest, if they do stay up, the absolute credit you have to give them for digging in.
Absolutely, especially with the challenges they've had this season. You know, almost a practically new squad. Steve Cooper's done amazingly to get them in this position. I think they've played a really good game today as well, and probably could have gone up, you know, ahead earlier in this match. But to give themselves a chance and get this goal in the right moment is
especially, Martin, when you consider just a few moments ago we were saying the Forest are all over the place, and they've gone up there at the other end and scored, you know. So Steve Cooper's got to be given credit for what he's done today tactically as well.
You're absolutely right, because normally that doesn't happen, but they show tremendous character. Even if they make mistakes, they still want to correct it at the other end of the table. And you think, well, that goal may just be enough to keep them in the Premier League, because when you look at the fixtures, you're drawn again to the fixtures, and you think, OK, Arsenal next at home, Palace, OK, this is not finished. But everybody else is looking at this thinking, no one's expecting them to get a point at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, quite right.
And it might be a wonderful point.
And that could be a huge psychological impact on your rivals as well. Right, Kilmarnock 2-0 up against Livingston. Daniel Armstrong with a penalty on 64. At half-time at Wembley Stadium, Chris Coles.
Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0. Andrew Dallas early penalty. He won it, he scored it, and they've been much the better. Created the more dangerous openings, albeit signs of life from Notts County as the half drew to a close. Aaron Naman shooting straight at Ross Fitzsimons, but it's Chesterfield against all the odds, who are 45 minutes away from the Football League, and condemning Notts County to what would be the cruelest of ends to a remarkable season. How you can get 107 points and maybe not win promotion. Wow, but that's the way it's going. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
Yeah, that's football, as they say. Goal at Bolton Wanderers, Barnsley. Tom Gale.
Barnsley's advantage lasting a mere couple of minutes, Jason. Bolton 1, Barnsley 1. It's the home side's first attempt on target, and it's their top scorer, Dion Charles. The ball is fizzed in from the wide left by Zach Randall Williams. The goalkeeper comes, doesn't claim, and it's a poacher's finish inside the 6-yard box. Bolton 1, Barnsley 1.
As it stands, Southampton will be relegated from the Premier League, Chris Wise.
And no suggestion at the moment that those 2 goals that they need to stop that from happening, with the scoreline as it is now, with Fulham leading by a goal to 0. No sign that that is coming at all. Mara and Sulemana are on for Saints in terms of the changes. But the headline substitute, if you like, Alexander Mitrovic, back for Fulham. He's been away for 8 games with that ban after he pushed referee Chris Kavanagh in Fulham's FA Cup game against Manchester United. He is back. He got a great reception from the Fulham supporters. Someone's doing a roaring trade on Serbian flags, because there was about 40 big ones being waved in the away end over to my right-hand side. Fulham have just won a corner and they're leading 1-0.
Terrific game at Stamford Bridge, Mark Scott.
Yeah, it has swung both ways, and now it's Forest with their tails up. Renan Lodi away on the left-hand side, burst towards the edge of the penalty area. Low fizzing cross shot wide of goal, but could have turned in to a pretty handy assist. No one in red able to get the tap in, though. This could go either way.
Manchester United moving closer to a Champions League spot. Kelly Summers.
Yeah, and they've just made a substitution. Their goal scorer, Anthony Martial, has gone off. Wout Weghorst has come on just as Manchester United take a corner into the area, but Wolves have cleared it. Are you surprised by that change, or does that make sense for you?
Yeah, not really. I think Martial's done okay. He's got his goal, but apart from that, he's not really figured in the game at all. Man United's so weak.
Wolves breaking through here, though. Podence playing the ball forward to Hwang Hee-chan on the outside of the area. David De Gea has come out, tried to take the ball off him. No foul. Hwang still has it to the left-hand side of the area, but I think the attack is just going to fizzle out, because now Manchester United have got players behind the ball now. So still Manchester United 1, Wolves 0, but this game's still on a knife edge.
And to Villa Park, John Bennett.
Where Kulusevski and Basuma are on for Spurs. That's Basuma's comeback. Hasn't played since February due to injury, and Spurs are much improved. Kulusevski putting a shot just wide. So Aston Villa may regret not taking their chances first half. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
What a job Roy Hodgson has done, Mark Webber.
Yeah, he's continuing to pressure. 2-0. We're at Bournemouth. They need the points more than anybody. And here comes Ward with a cross in now at 2-0.
Thank you, and Fulham are now 2-0 up, and I think, is it Mitrovic, I think, with the goal? Anyway, we'll tell you more about that when we join you on BBC One. We're going to take a very quick break. Bye for now.
to nod in Harry Wilson's cross from the right. Fulham in cruise control. Southampton also heading in one sole direction, the Championship. Southampton 0, Fulham 2.
Yes, Southampton heading for the Championship. Aston Villa heading for Europe, John Bennett.
Yes, Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0 on Eurovision Day. This is a key match in the race for Europe, and the points are going to Villa. Douglas Luiz with a brilliant free kick moments ago, left-footed into the bottom corner. Maybe the goalkeeper Fraser Forster should have done better. That added to Jacob Ramsey's early goal, a side foot finish. Tottenham didn't have a single shot until the 52nd minute, when Harry Kane should have finished a one-on-one chance. Ryan Mason's side have looked toothless. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0.
Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest, fantastic this afternoon at Stamford Bridge, Mark Scott.
Yes, and what a big point this could be for Forest, who were ahead at the break after that awful first half from Chelsea. The big error from Mendy, allowing a one-knee to head in. But the Blues much better after the interval. They pushed up a lot higher, showed more urgency and energy, and that quick-fire double from Raheem Sterling turned things around for them before a one-knee second header of the game levelled. And now it's Forest who have been asking the questions. Renan Lodi, a short time ago, flashing a long-range hit narrowly wide of the post. Does Steve Cooper stick or twist? A win and they're almost safe, but this could be a massive point if they hold on to what they have.
Now, Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin have been absolutely magnificent on BBC One on Final Score this season. So as a little treat, the sun has been shining in Manchester. We have sent them to Old Trafford. Good afternoon, Kelly and Dion.
Good afternoon, and Dion bought the sweets. What more could I ask for? Well, maybe a few more goals, because as you can see, it's Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. But Manchester United on their way to a potentially huge 3 points in the race for Champions League football. No Marcus Rashford this afternoon. He's injured. Anthony has been the brightest, and he set up the goal in the first half, squaring to Anthony Martial to tap home. They've also just had another glorious chance. Jadon Sancho forcing a lovely save from Wolves keeper Dan Bentley, who incidentally is on his debut this afternoon in for Jose Sarr. But Dion Dublin, it does feel like Manchester United need a second here.
Yeah, it does, because Wolves, you know, as poor as they have been in possession, they are still in this game. Man United now, I mean, Weghorst now going through the middle. But Wolves have just brought Traore on, and the two fullbacks of Manchester United really haven't been tested. We know what Traore does. His direct, he'll put it behind Luke Shaw, who'll put it behind Wan-Bissaka, and he'll just run. So now they are going to be tested.
Yeah, as it stands, Manchester United, if they can hold on, will be going 4 points clear of Liverpool, who've been chasing them down for that final Champions League spot. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0.
We've seen some excellent goals this afternoon. One of them at Palace, Mark Webber.
Indeed, Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 0. Bournemouth arguably only need a draw here to secure their Premier League status, but on Eurovision night are the Cherries facing their Waterloo. They've been largely absent from this game, and Crystal Palace have grown into it. Top scorer Eberechi Eze with both of those, one of them an absolute pile driver, a dominating possession in opportunity and possession terms for Crystal Palace. They look more like making it 3. Bournemouth don't look like scoring. They're 2-0 down.
To the Scottish Premiership and in the race for Europe, St Mirren have not given up hope of chasing down Hearts, and there's been a goal. Connie McLaughlin.
There has been. It's for Josh Ginnelly. He's brought Hearts right back into this one, close range, and just tapped into the back of the net past Trevor Carson. It has been all St Mirren so far, with goals from Ryan Strain and Joe Shaughnessy. Them doing their best to try and make it their third, because they were too busy up the other end. They left a little bit of space at the back, allowed in Josh Ginnelly, and it certainly means that this third space, if they can get third place, if they can get another goal, we'll be back on again. 2-1 St Mirren.
Ever so tight in the League One playoffs. Tom Gale.
Yes, we're all square, Jason. Bolton collected 4 points across the 2 league meetings between these sides, but they've been very much second best for most of this game. Chances are plenty for Barnsley before Nicky Cadden's low curling strike from the edge of the box eventually found its way past what's been an excellent display from keeper James Trafford. Amidst cries of Wembley, Wembley from the away end, Bolton equalised. Barnsley's keeper Harry Isted spilled the low cross, putting on a plate for Dion Charles to tap home his 21st goal of the season. He's just been substituted. It's Bolton 1, Barnsley 1.
You are not going to believe what is happening at Wembley Stadium this afternoon. It is, of course, the National League playoff final. Notts County have been terrific this season in that chase with Wrexham for top spot. Here's Chris Coles.
Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0. You might believe it if you're a Notts fan, Jason. They've seen this all before. for playoffs. It's their Achilles heel, and they're trailing thanks to Andrew Dallas' early penalty. We're just underway in the second half. Notts County need to get 42-goal striker Macaulay Langstaff involved. He barely touched the ball in the first half. Notts look nervy. Chesterfield on top, and the Spyrights, they're closing in on a return to the Football League, albeit a long way still to go. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest hanging on, Mark Scott.
Yeah, both teams are trying to win this game, and Chelsea on the attack just a short time ago. Raheem Sterling, who's been excellent in this second half, leading the charge, playing in Hakim Ziyech, whose ball was cleared well by Felipe. Forest are defending at the moment, but they've had their moments as well. It's a tough one to call.
In the Premier League's lunchtime kickoff, it finished Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2. Juliet Farrington.
We had everything. Penalties, VAR decisions, a sending off, and 4 goals. The first scored by Luke Ayling to give Leeds an early lead at the start of this game. Sam Allardyce, just what he wanted. Patrick Bamford had the chance to increase that from the penalty spot, but he missed. His spot kick was saved by Nick Pope. 3 minutes later at the other end, Callum Wilson showed how to do it, and Newcastle were level. He scored a second from the penalty spot, Wilson, in the second half, just before he was substituted after Firpo was judged to have handled the ball. Leeds looked out of it, but then from nowhere, Christian scored a deflected equaliser late on from the edge of the penalty area to get a point. Firpo was sent off in added time. We had a fan enter the Newcastle technical area and front Eddie Howe in the 6 minutes of added time that they had. Leeds held on. They did what Sam wanted his players to do. Must not lose as Newcastle drop points in their ambition for a top 4 finish.
Some crazy game, but I bet you're proud of your players at the end of it.
Crazy. It's an understatement, isn't it? I mean, I don't believe, you know, what's happened out there, what we've actually done to ourselves today, you know, on such a spirited and gritty and determined and fight and a little bit of quality here and there, and then ended up with 3 penalties, 2 against us and 1 we missed. That would have made life an awful lot easier today. We scored our penalty to go 2-0 up, and I believe we would have won that game, but we didn't. And then we go shooting ourselves in the foot by giving the penalty away, then another one, then we get a player sent off. But in between that, we've scored a great second goal for the equaliser. So it is a tremendous point, considering the circumstances that we've left ourselves in, that we really shouldn't have done.
Yeah, you can't underestimate how difficult today was for us, because new manager and the crowd were excellent for Leeds. Their style of play, very direct, set plays. We stood up majority of the time well to that. Just a couple of details let us down.
I know you, so there's no point in me saying you only need 6 points because you'll want 9. But that's the challenge, is it?
I just said that in another interview.
Oh, yeah.
We're after 9 because that's how you have to be. We know we've got difficult fixtures. We look forward to Brighton. They're having a great season themselves, so that'll be a really good game. But yeah, we want to win.
And we'll talk about Newcastle United, Manchester United, Liverpool later in the programme. But let's now, Martin and Anita, good afternoon to you. Just zone in on the bottom because it's all happening at the bottom. And Sam Allardyce is absolutely right, Martin, when he said that they've shot themselves in the foot. If they go down, if they're in the Championship next season, they may look at this as a missed opportunity, Martin.
Yeah, because Eddie Howe said it all there. Was an off day for them. Much improved Leeds. Great opportunity for Bamford, which he missed. A lot of talk before the game about fear and how you handle that. But it was something to build on. But West Ham next, last home game of the season is Spurs, who are losing right now to Aston Villa. So there might be a chink of light for them, but it might be over by then, Jason. And that was a missed opportunity to get 3 points at home today.
And talking about it being over, Southampton will be in the Championship next season, Anita.
Yeah, I think Southampton, they know as a club, I think they've been preparing for this. They're already making plans, looking ahead to next season, and it was too much for them to do, I think, at this point. And today they didn't really come out of the blocks, sharp to get that result. And, Fulham came back with Mitrovic and a wonderful goal, just showing that,
just been allowed
they
to dominate.
But
the
also,
game.
Martin, in the context of the season, the stats don't lie. Southampton have been woeful all season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. When you lose the number of games they've lost, you don't deserve to be at the top level. But we look back to the summer. Hassan Hurtel was a manager that I've been a big fan of. And even today, you're looking at the team just sitting off. He would have had everybody pressing and making it difficult for Fulham. They were just there for the taking today on a day when they look, okay, outside chance, but they had no belief, no real structure. and Fulham have just taken advantage of the situation they're in.
OK, a red card in our feature game in the Scottish Premiership. Colleen McLaughlin.
Yeah, Peter Haring sent off for Hart. Serious foul play it was, Jason, after a challenge on Mark O'Hara. VAR checked it and agreed with the referee, and then into the bargain, the Hearts interim boss Stephen Naismith got himself a yellow card for his remonstrations at the referee. Huge blow for Hearts as they try and get themselves back into this one. It's still St Mirren who lead by 2-1.
Colin, thank you. Back around the ground. Southampton going down. Chris Wise.
They are. They've had a chance. Sulemana with a low effort which trickled wide of the bottom right-hand corner of Leno's goal. Fulham have just gone up the other end. Quick counter-attack led by Wilson Mitrovic. And then Fulham eventually have won a corner which Cabano is about to take. But we are inside the final 5 minutes. Southampton have to win and they're 2-0 down.
And Chelsea pushing for a winner. Mark Scott.
Raheem Sterling very nearly getting his hat-trick, arriving late in the day at the far post, sent his header over the top of the bar from the angle of the 6-yard box. And I know that Martin has been keen to see Brennan Johnson come on for Forest. He is on for Taiwo Awoniyi for the last 10 minutes.
This could be a big win for Manchester United, Kelly Summers.
Yeah, it could. They're holding on here, Jason. Still 1-0. Changes for both sides, though. Jimenez is on for Wolves. We've seen Maguire, Fred and Garnacho come on from Manchester United. And we've also, Dion Dublin, just seen Weghorst head over. And you had your head in your hands again.
I don't know how he's missed. He's 5 yards out. Why should he miss that? It's a free header.
Just as Wolves go on the attack, the ooh there is from the away fans. Adama Traore, also on as a second-half substitute, burst forward on the right-hand side, got to the byline, pulled the ball back, but Manchester United have diverted it behind for a corner. This game, as I keep saying, is not over. United 1, Wolves 0.
Aston Villa and Spurs both locked on 57 points. John Bennett.
A rare attack for Tottenham in this game. Harry Kane through on goal, tried to take it past Emi Martinez, who came out and just got his hands on the ball. It's gone out for a corner, but they have really offered very little in this game. Just 2 shots, only 1 on target. Aston Villa heading to equal a club record of 6 consecutive home clean sheets. That was set in 1971. It's been a great performance. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0.
Free kick for Bournemouth. Mark Webber.
Well, if you're looking to score, who do you rely on? Core on the Welsh. Kiefer Moore just heading over in the area a few moments ago. David Brooks has just been fouled and he has earned himself a free kick, or the club a free kick, just outside the D. He's hovering over it. Also hovering over it is Lewis Cook, who's come off the subs bench as well. Let's see if these subs are going to change anything. At the moment, it's 2-0.
Thank you, Mark. No late Premier League game today, but in the Championship playoff semi-final, Sunderland and Luton Town meet in the first leg. Shojo Saka has the team news.
Sunderland stick with almost the same team that got them into the playoffs. Tony Mowbray making just 1 change today. In comes Alex Pritchard for Dennis Sirkin. Luton rested a whole heap of first-team players in their final league match last week, knowing they were going to finish 3rd. So 8 changes for them into what looks like much more like their first-choice team. 20-goal man Carlton Morris is back to lead the line for Luton today.
Possible penalty at Villa Park, John Bennett.
Yes, it was that Harry Kane chance where he was through on goal. I thought that Emi Martinez got the ball before Harry Kane got there, but the video assistant referee is checking this, taking a long time to check it. They've checked whether it was offside as well, which says to me that maybe they think it's a penalty. I'm not sure if you've seen this in the studio, whether you think it's a penalty. I think Emi Martinez gets the ball, but they're taking a long time to decide this. It's Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0, and possibly a penalty here for Tottenham. I'll bring you up to date in a moment, but it's taken a long time, Jason.
Yes, John, you keep an eye on it, and also Anita and Martin have been watching replays here. Anita, what do you think?
Yeah, from our view, I think Emi Martinez gets there first. You see the direction of the ball change as well. So I think he just gets there a split second before Harry Kane.
Well, Peter Banks is going to the screen, and we know what happens usually, Martin.
I'm going to try and stay impartial in this one, yeah, as an ex-Arsenal player. I think, and Villa player.
What? Hang on a second. We need to get a breaking news graphic made up.
Yes, I think Martinez gets there first, and I think Harry Kane slows down. This is what's actually happened. It's probably going to be a penalty, but I think Harry Kane slows down nicely to take the impact of the challenge, but the goalkeeper gets there first. Now, the goalkeeper probably should be protected in this situation. It's slightly different because his follow-through, naturally, what else is he to do? He has to go with his hands, and the follow-through catches Harry Kane, but I think Kane slows down and then runs into him.
Here comes Peter Banks, and he's given a penalty.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I don't know I don't really think he's right.
Okay.
Harry Kane would be the only person you could honestly ask.
Okay.
Would he tell you the truth, though?
Right, OK. Let's go back to John Bennett at Villa Park. We'll talk us through it.
Yeah, I think that was very harsh. The Villa fans in front of me think that was very harsh as well. They think Emi Martinez got the ball, but it doesn't matter. The only decision that mattered was Peter Banks. He went to the screen, he's given the spot kick, and Harry Kane is going to step up here at Villa Park to get Tottenham back into the game, as the referee shows a yellow card here to Emi Martinez. It's going to take a long time here, Jason, for Harry Kane to step up to take this spot kick, but it could be a big goal for Tottenham to try to get back into it. Only a few minutes left, but there's going to be a lot of injury time added on. Remember, only 2 shots on goal before this, Tottenham, in this game. They've been toothless in attack, but this is a big opportunity. And Aston Villa, they've kept clean sheets in their last 5 home games, so this is going to be a rare away goal at Villa Park. But it's Harry Kane stepping up, looking for goal number 210 in his Premier League career, looking for goal number 29 of the season. Harry Kane up against Emi Martinez, about to step up. He's taken a couple of steps back from the ball. It's taking a long time, this, but finally Harry Kane will step up, and he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. A goal back for Spurs. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 1.
Of course, he scores, Harry Kane, 210 Premier League goals. That means he's 50 behind Alan Shearer in the all-time Premier League scoring charts. I was going to say, but I had a feeling, having worked for 9 years with Martin Keown, he would say, you've only played Cardiff 5-a-side, so what do you know? I thought it was a penalty.
Well, that's what most people with an untrained eye would say, Jason. But those of us who played the game know
I knew
there's little nuances. Harry Kane slows down.
Thank you
takes
very
the
much.
challenge.
Thank you. Kelly Summers, I knew, see, after spending 9 years with Martin Keown in the studio, I knew he would put me away on live television.
9 years in a studio with Martin Keown. Wow, I was going to make a joke about you get longer for other worse crimes, but I won't say that, as Manchester United come on the attack here. Bruno Fernandes inside the area, but he is just stopped in his tracks, plays it into Anthony, who forces a brilliant save from Wolves goalkeeper Bentley. He just tips it round his post. Dion Dublin, we're into the final minute of normal time here. Manchester United are having the chances, but same old story, they can't take them.
No, they can't. Daniel Bennett's been outstanding. I've got to say, there's been 2 certain goals. He's gone down to his right, down to his left during this game. Kept it at 1, kept his team in it. It was Anthony that time trying to go to his left. United are just weak with their finishing, very weak, very wasteful. That's why they are where they are. That's why they're not with the top 2. That's why they can't mix it with the top table at the moment. Good football, finishing's woeful.
Yeah, 50 goals scored this season. That's just 1 more than Leicester in 18th as well. I think we know where Manchester United's problems lie. As it stands, though, they're on for a huge 3 points here.
Kelly and Dion, our dynamic duo, thank you both. Back to Chris Wise at St Mary's.
We're in stoppage time at the end of this game, 4 minutes of it. Fulham leading by 2 goals to 0. Southampton are going down. And why and how, they'll be the questions. They've gone from Hasenhüttl to Jones to Sayers in terms of managers. Nothing's worked, nothing's improved. The recruitment's been poor. The squad's inexperienced. There's too many youngsters. They've lacked leadership. They've lacked character. They've been terrible at home, somewhere that should have been their fortress. They've had an open door policy here. They've had inabilities to keep clean sheets. And this is the very end for Southampton. They are going out of the Premier League in the next 60 seconds.
And Chelsea on the attack, Mark Scott.
5 minutes of additional time, which we're into now. I said to you earlier, Jason, this game could go either way. It can only go one way now. It is 2-2, but the game being played exclusively in the Forest half. They have certainly set up now to just try and take a point away. Chelsea knocking at the door. Can Forest hang on for a point?
How long left at Villa Park, John Bennett?
We've got about 5 minutes left of injury time, so time possibly for Tottenham to get an equaliser. They're throwing everything forward now. The Aston Villa fans think that the decisions are going against them. John McGinn has just given away a free kick, but Tottenham sensing maybe they can make a great comeback here. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 1.
We're going to go back to Chris Wise at St Mary's because Southampton are close to being relegated. Chris?
We are inside the final 15 seconds, so you will hear the immediate reaction when that whistle goes. Thomas Bramall, the referee, as Southampton win the ball back on the halfway line. But this is the end game now for Saints. Those 11 consecutive years in the Premier League, and they had such joyous moments, didn't they, under Pochettino and Koeman and Puel and Hasenhüttl, and nearly a third for Fulham. Brilliant save by McCarthy, springing to his left-hand side. The ball's out of play, and the game is up. There are the boos. Southampton relegated, the first to depart from the Premier League in 2023. And the only cushion really for Southampton fans is that they've been able to prepare for this in recent weeks, because the writing has been on the wall for a long time. They've lost 7 Southampton of their last 8 games. There are dejected faces on the pitch. There is an acceptance in the stands that this was coming. The stands are half full. There's barely 10,000 Southampton supporters in here to see this moment. And just like in 2005, when they last dropped out of the Premier League, it is that gut-wrenching feeling that is back for Saints. It took them 7 years previously to get back to the Premier League, and the very long road to get back there begins right now. Carlos Vinicius and Mitrovic with the Fulham goals. They're up to 9th, but the story is Southampton have been relegated from the Premier League.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So there you are, staying on these pictures, live scenes from St Mary's as Southampton are heading for the Championship. Inevitable, really, Anita.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, and I don't think it's just this season alone. This is, 2 seasons of transfer windows that have gone wrong, managerial changes and, deflected Southampton. You can see the stands are practically empty as well.
Yeah, 11 years, Martin.
Yeah, it's been a proud record for them, a production line of players over the years. That's 4 defeats now on the bounce. They were somehow ahead at the Emirates, and that went to a draw, or maybe that just deflated them. There'd be a major clear out, and there'd be new players coming in. Just weren't experienced enough, Jason.
And, the Championship, it's a tough whole league. And Ruben Sayers has said that he would like to stay on and build a team capable of going back up in the Premier League. But we've seen it time and time again where teams get relegated and it's hard to rebuild.
And you see the teams that have come back, and they've usually kept a core, but you wonder where that core is now. How are you going to hold on to Ward-Prowse? Wilcock coming to the end of his career. Will Shea Adams be moving on? So who are they going to keep? Who are the players that they can build from? It's a very sad day for the football club, but I'm afraid it's been coming, Jason, for a very long time.
Yep, and really tough for the fans as well. Goal at Old Trafford, Kelly Summers and Dion Dublin.
Game, set and match. Manchester United 2, Wolves 0. From a Wolves attack, Manchester United broke at speed. Bruno Fernandes playing in, the 18-year-old off the bench. Alejandro Garnacho with a lovely finish. We've criticised players, Dion Dublin, throughout this game for not making the right decision, for not being clinical. That's exactly what the team was.
That's what you got to do. You come off the bench, you make a difference, you affect a football match. If you can do it with a goal, albeit the ball was perfect, the run was perfectly timed. He knew what he was going to do before he got into the goal-scoring position. That's what made the difference. Very, very clinical.
Very, very clinical indeed. Manchester United 2, Wolves 0.
And Nottingham Forest are hanging on at Stamford Bridge, Mark Scott.
They are 30 seconds left to play. Steve Cooper's got his hands on his head because they've just given the ball away outside their own penalty area. It's been exclusively in the Forest half. And Chelsea still knocking at the door, and Conor Gallagher goes for goal, and Keylor Navas has collapsed upon it. 10 seconds of the 5 that were signalled left to play. Steve Cooper is in front of me, going across to the 4th official and having a look at Robert Jones's watch just to see exactly how long is left to play. I think that is it, and I think Forest are going to leave Stamford Bridge with what could be a vital point come the end of the season. And there is the whistle from Paul Tierney, a massive roar from the away fans. It is a point, a rare point on the road for Forest, and it could be crucial come the end of the season. Both sides could have made decent cases for deserving the win. Forest won up through a Wanyi's header following Mendy's error. Niakate then missed a massive chance to make it 2. A quick-fire Raheem Sterling double turned it around, the second of which was an absolute beauty. Chelsea bossed it for a bit after that, but another, a Wanyi header levelled for Forest. Chances at both ends after, but at the end, as I say, Forest hanging on, and they have hung on. Chelsea 2, Forest 2.
Well, Forest have shown so much spirit today at Stamford Bridge, Anita, but I'll just remind everybody, home to Arsenal next Saturday, 5:30 kick-off, and then it's Palace away last day. These 2 relegation spots will go down to the wire, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are 2 tough fixtures, but they've put themselves in a wonderful position. Today to get this point out of this game will just give them the extra belief they need going into those last 2 fixtures.
That's a huge point for Forest.
Massive. It could always be enough for them because of the other games. I mean, Leicester, I know it's not a Eurovision Song Contest song, but I don't like Mondays is something that Dean Smith is going to be saying for a long time. Liverpool coming up Monday, it's a long wait, isn't it? That's painful for them today.
That's a great point, yeah.
Watching what's happening, and I just think, of course they were in front of the game. Sterling, we have to say, was outstanding from a Chelsea press point. But that's Steve Cooper there has done a magnificent job today to get something out of that match. It might just be enough.
Yeah. OK, let's take you to Old Trafford. Good game. Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's all over. Kelly Summers.
They've done it. Manchester United bounced back from 2 straight defeats with a much-needed 2-0 win over Wolves to strengthen their grip on 4th, going 4 points clear of chasers Liverpool in 5th. They spurned the majority of their chances, but took one in either half. The first coming from Martial after he tapped home, having been played in by the lively Anthony. And then in stoppage time, teenage sensation Alejandro Garnacho showed composure that a number of his older teammates didn't, to seal the result. As for Wolves, already mathematically safe, 0 shots on target. Tells the tale of a side who huffed and puffed but offered very little. Manchester United 2, Wolves 0.
That is a big win for Manchester United. Aston Villa and Tottenham Hotspur both locked on 57 points. John Bennett.
Yes, Unai Emery down in front of me, punch in the air. Great win for Aston Villa, 2-1 against Tottenham. They go level on points with Spurs and take a big step towards the Europa League. They dominated. Jacob Ramsey's side foot finish made it 1-0 early on. A brilliant Douglas Luiz free kick made it 2-0. Spurs didn't have a shot until the second half, but they did get one back after Emi Martinez brought down Harry Kane in the area. Kane stepped up to score the penalty, and Son had a goal ruled out right at the end. It was a nervy finish, but it's 6 home wins in a row now for Villa. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 1.
Villa